IBNX Radio.
Good morning. Good afternoon. It's 12:01. This is the Leadership Blend, and we are doing a takeover today on IBNX Radio.
Yep.
So Ricardo D. Rice is out of commission, which is our gain, y'all's gain. It's Friday, April 5th. We have a couple people returning who we thought would be gone for a very long time.
I thought I would be gone for a very long time, too.
Kyle, in particular, who I'm staring at right now, who said that he was going off to Yale or something like that, to some school. Kyle's wealthy, so I hadn't heard of the school I didn't expect to have.
It's called the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. I'm being trained to do radio and television and even some film. It's great. I've been there 2 weeks and I've learned so much already. So
look, I respect it. You already here. You have your own podcast, and now you're just deciding to go to school anyway. That's really, really cool.
I just want to perfect my craft. I think in this industry, there's always something new to learn. So.
Ain't that something? It's it reminds me of the Olsen twins because they already had a fashion line because they were super wealthy, like multimillionaires, but then they went to school anyway. Way to stay grounded.
Then they got on crack.
And also, I've been networking as well. I've met Corey Thompson. He used to anchor for Fox 5. I've met Cheka C. She's on Kiss 104.1. So, yeah.
That's what's up. I think
excited.
most people would think that was name dropping, but I'm very secure, so I didn't take it that way. All right, good afternoon, everybody. We're going to get into a lot of different news this week. It's been a very heavy week, I think, especially in my household. We have really big Nipsey Hussle fans. In my family, we have big Nipsey Hussle fans, and they're really devastated over the news that we got on Sunday afternoon / Monday morning. So we have some updates there. We have a lot of 2020 updates. In particular, Joe Biden was accused of making a woman uncomfortable in the middle of this week, and as of this morning, another woman has come out and said that he's also made her uncomfortable. So I think I'd like us to talk a little bit about how long this window exists between when somebody makes you uncomfortable and when they have to acknowledge making you uncomfortable.
And they got to acknowledge themselves. Don't come out and make no statement like that, because it's a woman that came out and was like, bruh, my partner, in so many words. No, he was just making his friend feel better. I wasn't uncomfortable. So I'm like, so who is the first woman?
Yeah. So I'll give background for that. I think that's worth talking about, and clearly that's still an issue that's going on. Two more things that are big and political. Trump said that he was going to close the border and then recanted on that. We could talk a little bit about what's going on with the border. And then for Governor Kemp, if you remember anything about the really contentious governor's race in Georgia last year, Governor Kemp was actually sued about 12 different times by different groups, the ACLU and NAACP, for restricting the rights of people to vote or pulling other sorts of voter ID laws right before the election. He's now passed a bill to recant on everything that helps him win, according to certain people, that I think would be worth talking about, too. So I think before anything else goes, can we all kind of go around and tell everybody who we are if they do not know who we are? So, Shaid, you start.
You already said my name, so I mean.
But you can tell people about yourself.
Why do I have to do that?
Okay, we can keep going.
Okay, fine.
We can keep it rolling.
All right. This is Kyle Andrew. I'm, disappointed that Ricardo is not here. I was going to surprise him and just, show up and tell him that, I can come back on Fridays now. But it's all good. I'm pretty sure he's listening somewhere or watching.
We hope. Or indisposed, potentially. And?
Double R in the building.
Okay. And
Ricardo's about to catch that L today.
Yes, I think he chose not to be here. Sometimes I think he chooses not to be here, especially when all of us are here, and it's not just, he's had it very easy lately.
Well, he didn't know I was coming. That's the thing.
Right. It's just been him and Jazz, too, I think, for the most part. I was here, but I think it's been kind of easy for him lately, because when they get along, they just feed each other. And it's just a mess.
They're give everybody $20 an hour.
Right. They pump each other up. That's right. We got capitalists in here today.
It's that Taurus and Scorpio relationship they have. You can't help it. And you guys have that whole Virgo Pisces connection.
I'm an Aquarius.
Oh,
you? How dare you?
I thought you were Virgo.
Oh, no. Jesus.
Stars don't make me emotional. So.
Okay, then you guys have that watery connection. If you're an Aquarius and still, even if you're an air sign, it doesn't make no difference then.
I was going to say, I don't want to have to correct you. But, okay, so getting on to Biden. So another woman accused Joe Biden of encroaching on personal space. We talked a little bit about 2020 last week, but I just want to refresh everybody's memory about where people are with the polls. So Joe Biden is a very popular name. People know who he is. Most of America likes him. And he is number one right now for Democratic voters, even though he is not officially announced, which I think is pretty interesting. Since we talked last week, another $1 million was raised by Pete Buttigieg. Bernie Sanders still has money coming in. Kamala Harris's results have come in. And she is number 3 in the polls, which is not a bad place to be because there's over 10 people in the field. But technically speaking, the first two contenders are old white males who are ahead of the Democratic Party nomination. So that's Bernie Sanders at number 2 and Joe Biden at number 1. So this morning, another woman came out and accused Joe Biden of inappropriate physical contact. Her name is Sophie Karasek. She penned an op-ed in the Washington Post, basically saying that she felt a sense of shame and belittlement, end quote, that Biden leaned down, took her hands, put his forehead to hers. She said she was very taken aback, and she was hoping that her body language would kind of make him feel distant. She didn't know whether or not he was going to kiss her, but she felt like if she would have made eye contact with him, it would have happened. So this is the second claim that's being made. After the first claim was made earlier this week, Joe Biden made a statement that he will be way more cognizant of personal space, that he takes ownership of it. He says that he doesn't mean to be sexist or paternalistic, that he is typically a touchy person or whatever, but he made no excuses. I think he gave a very clear apology. A lot of people didn't think he owed anybody an apology.
He did.
Why do you think he didn't owe anybody an apology?
Because at the end of the day, like, as a grown woman, like, where the dudes at that felt uncomfortable? Because we've seen him do these same things, like walk up, put his hands on dudes' shoulders, like, like people they give their babies to him.
Yeah.
Right, I was gonna say, what about the kissing
my
babies?
baby.
Yeah.
What if your baby felt uncomfortable?
I have friends
Like,
who
you
met Joe
trash.
Biden,
And they
said that he was the same way. He touched them, and it was just all kind of touchy feeling on their back when he hugged them, and I think that's just who he is. But at the same time, I feel like you have to conduct yourself in a way when you're at the status that he is. Can't be touching everybody, especially now.
Man, people
Just like now, I don't talk to people's kids. I don't
Me
touch
either,
everybody.
bro.
I don't talk to people's kids.
People be
like,
mad.
I was in
why
like
you don't
the
speak to my baby? I don't like your
I was
baby.
in a grocery store and this kid he waved at me and I said, "What's up, man?" And I just kept it moving because I don't want any kind of anything coming back on me.
You know what's funny about that? Beto O'Rourke, so he's a candidate for 2022. He's a Democrat out of Texas. He had a rally this week where a teenager approached him and asked him to go to prom with her. And I didn't get to watch the clip. We got to find that clip when we get a chance to have a break and to play back. Because I want to know how you back out, how you handle a situation like that.
No.
If it's 50, you just say no and you just be really mean?
Yes.
But about 5 years ago, that would have been a nice little story. But now that doesn't ride.
But I'm just wondering, do you have to make a statement or you just walk away? Do you back up in here?
Nah, you be
I would feel so uncomfortable.
No, I'm gonna be like, yo, security, please come get this
You
little girl.
just tell security to
I'm
carry
like,
her out? You don't
yeah,
think that would be a headline? That you have security haul her
I
out?
don't care.
It's like, little girl, you don't understand the news today, and I understand that you. I understand.
And I'm
that
an old white man.
Yeah.
Right.
Like we
You are
old
not
white
about to
men are
catch me.
known for doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
So
You are-
security, please get this little
I'm
girl,
not in
please.
agreement.
You are not about to frame me. I am not about to be infringed upon this.
I just think I imagine in my mind that you just see little kids walking down the street and men just running the other way.
That's kind of what
That's
the world
kind
is
of what
turning
I
to.
see.
And
Yeah.
it's crazy, because everybody just saying, "Oh, he just made me feel uncomfortable."
Yeah,
That's
right?
it. Like he ain't trying to.
Yeah.
I felt like he was gonna kiss me if I would have made eye contact. It sounded like you would have kissed him back.
It sounds like you would have did anything just so you could have just came up on
That's
it.
what that sounded like. Like if I
Yeah.
would have made eye contact, we would
It's
have
like,
kissed.
Joe Biden
Yeah.
touched me. Let me use this for public exposure.
And
Well,
you
look,
still
yeah.
trash. And you don't have no job now. Like you got it.
Right. So one of these women, Lucy Flores, she was a Nevada Assemblywoman, and she said that in 2014, he touched her inappropriately, and she said, "quote unquote, we're not peers the moment you touched me."
So where he
basically,
touched you and how did he
crosses a
touch you?
line.
Because
I
some of
think it
these
was one
women
of
saying
those
like
shoulder
he
situations.
rubbed my shoulders.
Yeah.
Shut up.
It's
So
just
he was giving you a massage.
It did.
Well-
It's going to become, especially because these women are single white women.
Anything for a check, man.
It's
you
going
think
to
it's
become.
you think it's a play up for a lawsuit, or do you think it'll
truth
just
be
be?
told,
They're not trying
I'm
to
not-
sue him though.
I'm not gonna
That's
lie.
the thing. He's running for president,
I mean, just besmirchment. I mean, it still brings controversy to his name.
but
at least.
it's Joe. That's the thing about that's the difference between Joe and Superior Court. Him?
Kavanaugh.
Yeah, that's the difference. Joe has been doing this his whole political career
But why is it now decided to become more popular?
because he's
Yeah.
running for
Yeah,
president.
and now,
very
and this
timed.
is the time. The second you announce for president, this is the time for anybody who ever had an issue with you ever
Of course.
If you cut them in the line in
Like
sixth
if
grade,
you don't like him,
Yeah.
he broke up with me and didn't
Yeah,
even.
yeah.
He broke up with me through text.
yeah, and it's time for your big stuff to get aired out
Yeah.
too, like stuff that really should be aired out. Like maybe he was flying under the IRS's radar.
And plus, like you guys
know.
said, this man's been doing it for a minute. That's because you guys been always been watching him. Like people that are like, say for example, like it comes to the mainstream media, people like me who haven't really been focused on Joe Biden, but now are. It's becoming more of a whatchamacallit. It's like, oh, okay, like dang, it's coming out to be more surprise to us because we haven't really been following him like you guys have.
But do you think hugging can really be like some people? Like I've heard of different. There's different
Obviously.
kinds of hugs.
Obviously.
I know, but I'm saying
'Cause
some
my
hugs
boy,
like
my boy Ghost. They tried to get him out of here for the Beyonce
He was out of
thing.
line. He was out of line.
Like,
It
oh, he
was
kissed
too much.
Beyonce twice, and the hug was 6 seconds.
so.
Why was you watching this
No,
hug so long?
Did you see the hug or the kiss?
No, but if anything, my opinion on that is just like, look, if you don't want anybody touching on you, like, because everybody's personal, like, everybody's perspective on like physical, like, all right, a hug or gestures.
You
Varies.
could just do this.
Yeah, if you don't feel comfortable.
I was gonna say, is
just
that
be
what she
like-
should have done? She should
And
have
Jay-Z
just like.
watched it.
Just-
If
just
it was
tell-
a problem,
like, tell
I
me.
feel.
Tell me before we do anything, because it's just like, because I need a forewarning, because everybody's different. Because it's like, say for example, if I hug somebody over here and stuff like that, I don't know how anybody's gonna take it or whatnot. So it's like, all right, let me.
I'm
at
just
least tell
saying, Jay-Z like way taller than him, and he was looking at him the whole time.
Here's the thing. I feel like Beyonce has a responsibility though, and most people do because you know there's a camera on you, even though she wasn't at a
But
photo
that's my
shoot.
partner.
But if you just like, you know,
Yeah.
if you
She-
just mush somebody,
Yeah.
then that's humiliating for him. Like
But
you
that's
know,
my partner.
I don't
So,
think she
like,
wanted
it's
to
not
humiliate him.
But
Yeah.
she ain't saying nothing. She
She
like,
didn't.
that's
I'm not
my
saying.
friend.
I didn't see
didn't
that
mind
that
it.
way.
I'm pretty sure she
And
didn't
that's
mind
what
it.
I'm saying. Like,
Mm-hmm.
imagine how many people kiss Beyonce on a regular.
Yeah, but and that's why celebrities always like
Lucky
wash their
bastards.
faces all the time. 'Cause,
Yeah,
people
like-
just, ugh.
But,
I think
I don't think it's a lot of people. I think it's just like people like that can get that close to me. Cause look at how many women kiss
Sometimes
Beyonce
people have
that
just
night.
met her though.
But look at how many women kiss Beyonce that night.
That's
Just
the
like,
women.
oh my God, I'm so happy to see you.
But that whole
Kiss
situation,
her.
I think they had just walked
I don't think
into
I
the
would dare
award
kiss
show and
Beyonce.
everybody just kind of swarmed to all their celebrity friends. Like I saw Chloe and Halle, I saw
Mm-hmm.
Viola Davis was in the back. She looked kind of angry.
Like he dapped up Jay-Z,
Yeah.
hugged Jay-Z. That was a long hug. If y'all
Yeah.
want to
I was
like
gonna
do
say
that.
if it's about time limit,
And then
it's
he
like,
seen B like, B, baby girl. Mwah.
that.
Girl,
Okay,
girl,
it wasn't
you
like
look
that.
great.
It wasn't that kind of
Mwah.
vibe.
Yeah, but and I think a lot of people were
It
kind
was
of
a slower, more relaxed vibe. It wasn't all
Yeah.
that.
I mean, but I'm just saying, like, it looked like he ain't seen her in a minute. And we came out with the statement, like, nah, that's my partner.
I couldn't tell with
yeah.
that greeting
but
that
I
they'd
think
ever
it
met at
raised
all.
flags because of the way Beyonce reacted, because you know she's kind of shy and introverted, so she kind of was shaking a little bit, like she was kind of like uncomfortable.
Yeah,
So,
people
I don't
said she
know.
looks really uncomfortable. But I think Beyonce usually, if she's not doing a thing, I think
Mm-hmm.
she generally looks uncomfortable. Like I think she
All
looks a
the
little,
time.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
all
feel like
the
she's
time.
always kind of like,
Beyonce
Am I
don't look like
on
she
or
like
not
people
on?
like that.
Yeah, she's very like I think
like
she's
look
very
at her in
shy
the
and
elevator.
introverted.
During
But,
the
like,
elevator fight when she looked uncomfortable in the elevator with her own husband and her own sister.
Yeah.
She looked like,
I don't know.
because she really looked like, this my man, I don't know who to swing on first.
Yeah.
It's like just stay in the corner. Just stay in the corner. I can't win either way. Just stay in the corner.
That's why all
She's
them-
like, just smile. That's
all
her
them
reaction to
meme-
everything.
All them,
Just-
them meme videos that came out, where it's like her trying to block the punches.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things, like when people get more fame and they get more famous, you can't have friends.
you really
Like, you can't be cool with somebody. I can't
you're on a
hug you.
different level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They take it to a whole nother level.
One touch, it's a lawsuit.
Man,
Yeah,
look.
and you can pause and freeze videos and make you look uncomfortable if you really want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One thing though, I do think we have to be able to say is that people do need to learn a little bit about how that works, because a lot of times somebody goes in for your cheek and then they don't think about, okay, so now we got to separate, right? So I'm separating. Usually my head's gonna go this way. So don't call yourself lingering nowhere. You know what I mean? Like the first kiss he went in for
Yeah.
was the cheek. Then he went in for another one, right? So it's like slow motion. I'm pulling back, and here you come in for
It didn't look like she
he
was
was
pulling
right
back.
on the
It looked
corner
like-
of her mouth.
It didn't look like she was pulling back. It looked like she was getting ready to say something.
Right, and then
He heard somebody say something because he turned and then went back one. But her face was just right there
it looked to me like he meant to kiss her twice.
on the cheek.
On purpose.
It looked like he meant
Well,
to
yeah,
kiss her
but she
twice
had
on the
already
cheek
moved her head.
Because she looked like she was about to say something. And
Yeah.
then you could see her say something. And by the time he kissed her the
Yeah.
second time, he just walked away.
She
I think
probably
there
thought
was
one
a
was enough.
miscommunication because I think like depending on where you're from, like nationally,
Yes.
a lot of people greet different. Like I know people from New York. I have a friend from New York. When I dap him up, he like does that and then he points his finger. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So it's like people in
Bang,
Atlanta,
bang.
yeah, like I don't know. It's just like so. I just started kind of fist bumping him because it's like we can't get it right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think from people are from different places, they greet people differently.
Like people
So I
in the
did- I-
South,
yeah.
when they greet people, it's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
It's
Southern
weird.
hospitality.
Southern people greet people weird. Like,
Wait, if I'm-
I just think
weird.
some people aren't
It's weird,
expecting us to like. Okay, so sometimes somebody will like give you a hug or whatever, and then they'll mean to lean back a little bit and look at you and be like, "So what's going?" Like, but I'm not ready for that conversation, so I'm already all the way pulled back out the hug, and
it
now I
didn't
feel
look
trapped
like
in the
that.
hug.
It
Like,
looked like he hugged, he kissed, hugged, heard somebody, but because she was getting ready, she literally after
I think
the
she was
cheat,
done. I think she was done.
She turned, and then he hit her again and walked away. Like he didn't even say nothing.
Because
He
that was
literally
awkward.
was
That
like,
was awkward.
he pointed, and I'm like, who you seen?
Oh,
Who
Ramiro.
you seen more important than Beyonce?
Exactly.
I
in
gotta
that
get out of
room?
here. He was like, I gotta get out of here.
Like it's nobody more important than Beyonce in that room.
oh my God.
Nobody more important
Thank you,
than Beyonce. in that
Saeed. I
room.
didn't know you believed in Jesus, but thank you.
Bro wasn't even there.
Can we
Jesus is everywhere.
So first of all, he is. I'm not gonna let you do that in a condescending way.
But Biden, Biden cool.
He is.
Biden ain't even announced yet, and he about to win.
He said
That's
he
what's so
hasn't.
bad.
He hasn't. He said though that he believes that things have changed over the years. People got upset with his one comment he made in his apology where he said, you know, over the years I know things change. He said back in the day it was okay to pull people in close or to extend a hug. He's like, I'll be more mindful. People were like, someone said, quote, in the New York Times, it's not about the times, it's about the conversation. And that was their quote, and they basically believe that that's an excuse.
What are we talking
But don't
about?
times change? Like what's okay does change. You know what I mean?
But the question is, who does it change? Like, you become uncomfortable. I'm not uncomfortable.
People are sensitive.
I don't know.
People are sensitive now.
No, people just trash. Like, you gotta start saying it. Y'all trash. That's lame. That's lame. Because now it's gonna be like, oh, you shook my hand too long.
Or you just got to know to dap people up. If you're a non-hugger, like a lot of people are, you just got to know to immediately be like, extend your fist before they
people
can
don't wanna
even, you know
do
what I
that.
mean?
They want to
Look at
create
body
moments for later. Like, oh, I remember that one time in 2000.
I'ma hold
look at
on
what
to
happened
this.
to Jamie Foxx. Oh, he hugged me too long in 2003.
What the?
Come on, bro. 2003. Jamie came out like, hold on, you want to catch this lawsuit? Because you know when you file a lawsuit, you can sue for however much money.
Mm-hmm.
However much.
Mm-hmm.
Then you realize like, he's suing me for $100 million. Oh, I was just playing. Like, no, ain't no just playing. You trying to destroy somebody's whole, like, don't try to destroy my integrity because you feel some type of way because you whack. That's lame. If you don't want to hug me, dap me up. If you don't want to dap me
Yeah.
up, pound me up. If you don't
Right.
want to pound me up,
Then why are you at
stay
my
over
event?
there.
You know what I
You
mean?
know what I'm saying?
If you don't want nothing,
Yeah.
why are you at my event?
Stay
Why are you
over
working
there.
in my
Why
staff?
you even here? Like, don't try to Jordan Woods me. Come on, bro. Like, don't put your legs on my legs. Why? How you put your legs on my legs?
Well, at least she didn't blame him. At least she said, I put my legs on.
But why? Why you do that? How you do that?
Yeah. So Stacey Abrams is defending him. I think they may be on the same ticket together.
Definitely.
I wouldn't be surprised. Why do people have to call him? See, now the guy with the creepy Uncle Joe. I think Vox is kind of shameful for that. This is pretty shameful. Everybody knows what a creepy uncle is, and I don't think this is very fair.
Yeah.
'Cause politicians
And
do
these
this.
grown women. These like
They are.
grown,
They
extra
are.
grown women.
They are.
How is he creep well?
I think that it puts him in a bad position, though, and a tough position because Republicans with the Kavanaugh situation, like, you know, and the fact that they have like 2 women in their entire delegation, like, it's just Democrats need the Republican Party to be anti-woman or to step on a woman's rights for them to have that separation, like with the heartbeat bill, when people saying Georgia's trying to put its thumb on women's backs, like Democrats
just
want
trash.
to be the pro-woman party. So if he is accused of making people uncomfortable, even though this is not sex crimes, this is not rape or molestation or anything like that.
Just
That's not,
said he made
or
me feel
harassment.
funny.
Yeah,
I'm uneasy.
Yeah, but if
That's
he
what all
doesn't
the women
handle
keep
it
saying.
right, then the Democrats are going to look like hypocrites.
I ain't gonna believe this until a black woman come out and be like, he made me feel funny.
Yeah, culture has a lot to do with sensitivity too. I'm not gonna lie, because like Latin cultures, I know they talk very close when they talk. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're very, you know. I just feel like a lot of this is
Cultural.
yeah, a lot of it's cultural too. Okay, so one thing that may be a little more substantive here. So Joe Biden also contributed to a couple of other things when he was in office and throughout his political career. Some of this I think has a little bit more to it because criminal justice reform is increasingly picking up, and there's a few things that everybody's on the same side on. We do want to see mandatory minimums go away. We don't want to see situations where people who have like a little bit of drugs on them end up going to jail forever, sentencing disparities, stuff like that. So Joe Biden's actually, his record has come up with criminal justice almost like Kamala Harris's did, because that's what happens, I think, when you become close to running for president.
Yeah,
So
it's one of those things like in the moment you feel like you're doing the right thing. The same thing with Hillary, like in the moment you feel like you're actually doing the right thing.
Right. With
You
the,
don't know until after, like,
with
huh?
this
That
three
might
strikes
have been
law.
kind of trash. It
What'd
might
you-
have been kind of trash.
What'd you say?
But you gotta assume, like, see, like with the 3 strikes law, nobody ever talks about the other side. Like, we only talk about like the black side. Like, I ain't even really do nothing. Well, when you put really in it, you probably did something, and you did it 3 times, and you knew after the second time that if you do it one more time, you're going to jail, and you have to serve that sentence. Like they tell you, do not. Judges are very specific when you see the same judge more than once. I do not want to see you in my courtroom again. Come, you back? I do not. If I see you in my courtroom again, I'm going to send you to jail. 3rd time, you want to go to jail though. Hey, I don't even want to talk to you.
But Judge, you didn't do anything.
You
So
did
that's
it 2
that's
more
a little
times.
different though, because it's still, you got to think about the length of time. If somebody's 25 and they've been in trouble 3 times, okay, but now they have to die there.
But what did you do?
I mean, that was for anything. The 3 strikes was for holding weed. 3 strikes was for
Felony crimes.
anything.
And
Okay,
and the
but-
disparity
but weed.
is where you are. So like in California, where they drug laws is like trash. Like New York drug laws is
It's
garbage.
better than here. It's better than Georgia.
Well,
No. Oh,
Georgia, the South has always had trash. Like it's all the laws have always been garbage in the
Yeah.
South.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
But you expect like in certain places, especially in California, where like you can smoke now,
Yep. Thank you.
and all their police officers were known to like confiscate drugs and then do them. You would think like they drug laws would be different. Nah, they trying to throw. We need football numbers at you.
Oh.
New York, we need football numbers at you.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they giving these folks all type of years. I'm talking about all type of years. Like when you see somebody, I seen the case one time. They gave a dude 192 years.
What? For what?
Why? You could have just gave him life. Like
But
why you
see?
even put what they have to do is claim your body that whole time. So I'm gonna give you
192
all
years.
these years to claim your body even after you dead.
Yeah, but that's how mandatory minimums work, though, too. Is that like if it's 50 years and you're already 50, well, I guess that's where you're gonna carry up. You know what I mean? Carry
Yeah,
out
they
your
can just
last
say
day.
life.
For real, I'm just
Anyway,
like, why are you
it shouldn't be
adding all
life
these
for
years?
something that small. Like technically, it's a victimless crime to have something on you that's not harming anyone else. There's no victim. Like it's in your pocket. Nobody died. Nobody killed over. It didn't end up on a schoolyard somewhere. Like, it
But
didn't end up, so
I
nobody should be
understand.
serving life. For
I
something
understand,
like
but
that.
when I look at a lot of these cases, like it don't be that. He be like, nah, he got a pound on him, half a pound on him.
pound that didn't hurt anybody.
Yeah,
I'm
but
just saying.
you-
The only reason you should be having life is if you literally took life. If you wipe someone off this earth.
You ever
Nothing
seen
else
somebody
really
on
makes
crack?
sense.
Oh yeah.
Somebody on crack?
Yeah,
They
you ever
harming.
seen it?
Yes.
Yeah. Wait, and seen it?
I'm
We
talking
have
about
plenty.
physically
We have
seeing
plenty in my
somebody on
family.
crack.
Plenty.
Yes.
If you physically
Yeah.
see somebody on crack, if you knew the person that sold it to him, no, that person got to catch all the hands.
Are you kidding me? People are adults.
Hey, look, man.
People are responsible for their own
Hey,
decisions.
hey, look.
True.
You got to catch them hands.
Look,
You got to catch them hands.
if that's the
real.
case, literally,
I mean, I blame the person
half
that
the
did
black
the
community
drugs.
would be in
I
jail.
mean, it's a two-way.
Cause you stole my TV. Like, I blame you.
So do y'all think that the recent rave about CBD oil is going to, does this mean that, Georgia, because they passed a law where you can grow CBD in Georgia and
Yeah.
for farmers. So like, do you guys think that this is going to this mean that Georgia will eventually?
The catch was though that they didn't implement a law to have it. So now you're allowed to grow it, but you're not allowed to. It's one of those small little things that's
And you can't.
common
And
sense.
if you transport it across state
right,
lines,
you're in
it's
trouble.
a felony.
Yeah, but is this like a small step towards the legalization?
No,
of
I think they're doing
recreational?
that because Georgia wants to pass the law, and the thing that, especially Georgia, that's a lot of people that live in the city don't understand what the country look like. That farmland, that growing land, like they don't understand what that look like. So if you got those people growing this type of stuff, like growing cannabis in real life,
Yeah.
they're not growing it for themselves; they're growing it to sell it. But these people can't be vendors, which is kind of ridiculous because who gonna buy it?
People who do
If
it.
you yourself can't be a vendor, that means that you legally cannot sell the drugs that you grow.
Wait.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
calling it
So
drugs?
all those other things you have to get permission to do. They'll they allowed us to grow it, but having it or selling it or all these other little things are illegal. So it's like you basically, I feel like sometimes they pass these laws to put more people in jail
Yes.
because they're not passed correctly. It's not passed to the point where like you outlaw an actual abortion, so you outlaw performing an abortion, but really the people who are seeking it can end up in jail too. So it's like the doctor can end up in jail, the woman can end up in jail, the assistant who scheduled the appointment, like whoever
that's all
else is
trash.
involved, because
That's trash
that's the way
too.
they set these laws up. So I don't know.
That's stupid.
But what do you think about the fact that Joe Biden supported mandatory minimums? Well, what do you think about, okay, so Hillary Clinton had to eat this when she was running.
That's
that
what I
people
was
were
saying.
like,
Like, I think
so
that-
do you think that that's fair though? Or do you
I
think we
think
could
that
tend to...
in the moment, people thought they were doing the right thing. Like
That's so sensible of you. I'm so impressed with
I'm
that.
just
with you
saying that
that.
sometimes you do things in the moment because you think that you're doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm doing the right thing and then somebody sees someone doing the wrong thing, the thing that you might think that you're correcting in your eyes might be the right thing. To me, it just look crazy. Because black people look at mandatory minimums like,
Right.
that's,
Right.
that's a little, White people
'Cause it
just
could be-
like,
yeah.
you never hear white people complain about other white people that go to jail.
No, unless they should be in treatment, quote unquote, like with the opioid crisis, and they feel like that now we
Nah,
need to focus on mental health all of a sudden, and
But
now
that's
we
like
need
the last couple of years.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
when white
yeah.
people go to jail, white people be like, oh, I'm done with John. I'm done with him. I'm done with John.
I'm gonna change. my
Well, okay,
life.
but you put enough black people away, it's like, okay, well, this is like everybody I know. So,
All my
I
friends
mean,
are here.
it depends on how much it affects you. All your friends are there.
No, not like that. I mean, but you do run into people in jail if you live in the city. I mean, not
that
like
it's true.
Yeah.
Like you things
But
don't
you see, that's the point.
it don't affect you until it actually affects you. That's what you end up seeing. Like, dang, this really affect me now. Not really. Like it just affects somebody that look like you, but that ain't you.
That's my cousin.
And if you care that much,
I mean,
if you
it
care that
does.
much, but it's one of those things like if you care that much, do something about it. Don't talk about it. These white folks ain't trying to pass no law for you. They trying to pass the law to protect them. That's why these laws look crazy. Like when you read it, you're like, hold on, cuz, what?
Except when they have, though. Like New Jersey just outlawed cash bail.
Yeah.
So it's not. So if you don't have $10 to your name, you can still get out. If you have bail, you have a bail. And
New York did the same
Colorado
thing.
doesn't have mandatory minimums. They don't have illegal weed. They
Because it's a state by state thing.
it is a state, but it's but
Like, look
man.
at the young boy that killed himself when he got out of jail.
Khalif Browder.
Yeah, you sat in jail for that long.
Yeah, about
Yeah,
3 years.
I would be pissed.
I think
Because
2
you
in
couldn't find
solitary.
somebody to help pay. And I don't think his bail was that much.
No, his bail wasn't that much.
It was like $2,500 or something
Right,
like that.
right. But he didn't have it.
And you can't find nobody.
a lot if you ain't got it.
That which means that your original bond was where your bail was $25,000. Your bond is $2,500.
I think
so
his bond was
10%.
actually $2,500. I think he didn't have $250, if I'm not mistaken. It was a really small amount. And in New York, that's it. But like in Georgia and in other places, you don't. It's not just about cash. You also have to have references. You have to have somebody bail you out, and that person can't just be anybody. That person has to be like, oh, they live here or they own property, or maybe I need 3 references. I need phone numbers. I need to be able to call everybody.
It depends.
Sometimes all these agencies are like they have different standards for what they think is.
And that's what it is here. Because in
Yeah.
Georgia, if you go to jail, like truth time, I've been to jail one time. You know,
Yeah.
you when you in streets.
I have as well.
But
Yeah, me too.
when you in jail, like I just made a phone call. Hey, bro,
I know you haven't got it.
go drop
Actually-
this. They saying my bail 180. Can you go drop that real quick?
I haven't been to jail, but I've been watching this show called 60 Days In.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
you're-
Watch it a lot.
And I wouldn't mind being a participant.
Bye.
It sucks, bro. It
Bye.
sucks.
I'm just saying.
Bye.
I just think
Yo, jail food
bro,
is the
huh?
nastiest food.
Jail
like
water.
school lunch.
it looks like
Jail air.
Except shout out to Fayette County. Fayette County might got the best food in
You were in
Georgia
Fayette
in
County?
jail.
I was in Gwinnett.
All right, but look, we're going to exchange stories, criminal history records, and then we'll be right back after this break on the Leadership Blame with Simone Cherie.
Billy. Like that.
What do you want from me? Why don't you run from me? What are you wondering? What do you know? Why aren't you scared of me? Why do you care for me? When we all fall asleep, where do we go?
Come here.
Say it, spit it out. What is it exactly? Your pain is the amount cleaning you out. Am I satisfactory? Today I'm thinking about the things that are deadly. The way I'm drinking you down, like I wanna drown, like I wanna end me. Step on the glass, staple your tongue. Bury a friend, try to wake up. Cannibal class. want from me? What are you wondering? What do you know? Why aren't you scared of me? Why do you care for me? When we all fall asleep, where do we go?
Listen.
Keep you in the dark. What had you expected? Me to make you my art and make you a star and get you connected. I'll meet you in the park. I'll be calm and collected. But we knew right from the start that you'd fall apart, cause I'm too expensive. Your talk would be something that shouldn't be said out loud. Honestly, I thought that I would be dead by now. Calling security, keeping my head held down. Bury the hatchet or bury your friend right now. The debt I owe, gotta sell my soul, cause I can't say no, no, I can't say no. Then my limbs are frozen, my eyes won't close, and I can't say no, I can't say no.
Careful.
Step on the glass, staple your tongue, bury a friend, try to wake up, cannibal class, killing the sun, bury a friend. I wanna end me. I wanna end me. I wanna end me. What do you want from me? Why don't you run?
Everybody, welcome back to the Leadership Blend. It is April 5th. It's Friday. I'm Simone Cherie, and I'm with...
Double R.
Kyle Andrew.
And say,
All right, we changed a nice couple little stories, and I feel like I know y'all a little bit better. I don't know if I feel safer. I don't know if I feel safer.
We all should. We all
But I
should
know y'all
not
know
feel
better.
safe around each other. The only safe person in the room is Kyle.
look,
Right.
I didn't do anything wrong. I was just a harmless victim.
That's what everybody
You
says.
was a victim.
That's what everybody
I
says.
was not. Well, I knew what I did, but at the same time, it wasn't as bad. It wasn't as bad as you think it is.
Kyle probably feel like walking on the wild side. Didn't you say that you went to the hood on purpose with this white female, just like mess around? Like
Well, we went to a Rich Homie Quan concert, and then she got a little bit too drunk, and that was a
Yeah, I gotta
so you
tell
like
you-
playing
tell
with
what
like
you
some
answer.
dangerous
I gotta
stuff
leave you
Yeah.
where you at, because
because you're not gonna be around when whatever happens. Yeah.
no, I can't be around white people like that
I
when they
understand that.
drunk in public and you know them.
yeah.
You can have immunity, but I
Never
don't.
again.
Lord.
But back to what we was talking about with the Joe Biden thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people do what they think is right in the moment,
Yep.
and we bring it up now because it ain't white folk bringing this stuff up. It's us. Oh, Joe Biden, you remember that one time when you said like it was cool for everybody to go to? In the moment when 1 out of every 5 men was like the plug. Yeah, I feel like if you the plug, 1 out of every 5 men in the hood was the plug. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of drugs. That's a lot of drugs. Like when you hear certain people talk about what they was doing in their neighborhood, like I know in my neighborhood, every floor had somebody that had the I got the chew. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like my mama used to be like, yo, I got the shots, I got the cigarettes, I got the, you know what I mean? I got the joint in there. My uncles had, you know what I mean?
Everybody had.
And we talking about people that live in the same building. So imagine what it's like in other places.
And that causes so many problems too, even with like people getting arrested again, like making that second or third offense. And sometimes it's not even like they did the same thing; it's that they violated their probation.
Yeah, you
Because it's
violate
like,
probation,
You can't
like,
live with anybody else with the felony. Okay, so I got to move neighborhoods. I mean, that's the position some people are going to be in. Like, you can't live with anybody else who has a felony. That's a very common condition of probation.
But it's like, the problem is
And if
that
it's a
it be for
family
periods
business.
of time. So like, usually when you go on probation, depending on the crime,
Yeah.
like you talking about felony crime, like you talking about felony charge.
Yep.
You talking 12 to 24 months, you can't be around anybody else that commit felonies
Or even
on a regular basis. Like
But so where do you go? I mean, that's a long time to be
if
sleeping
you
on the
live
street.
with your mama,
and you can't
and
sleep
your
on the
mama
street.
a
You have to
felon?
have an address.
like you live with your mama, but your mama got felonies.
you can't stay.
Dang, I
can't
can't
do
live with
that.
my mama.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right.
You're on the
So where
street,
I'ma stay at?
homeless, bound to be back in the system again.
Eventually. Or you could just make better decisions.
That too.
That's true.
That's always the argument. Like the action after you make the decision or the decision. itself.
But the decision you can't go back on.
You can't go back on that.
So-
I done already been trapping.
But it's all up to the person.
I done already been trapping though. Like I've been trapping. Like my whole family was the trap.
Shai, what do you mean?
But I mean, like, here's the thing, though, because I mean, like, when it always comes to the situation like this, you always have like us going about it, like, all right, like, oh, are we gonna be like, oh, I'm a product of my environment and stuff like that. Everybody else in the hood was doing this, so I got to do this too. It's like you could be the mold to break it, but just like we said before, I mean, like, just because like a decision is made and stuff like that doesn't mean like, oh, okay, like you're just gonna sit over here and just succumb to it. You could always change it, or you could do it for the better, or you could just sit on it and just be like, all right, I'm gonna let fate do his job on me and stuff like that, and work it up my ASS and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
I hear you.
I get it, but you know, most people ain't.
It's more about like, go ahead.
People do be like, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm a product of my environment. No, you're not.
No, you don't have to be, but it's more about the fact that, like, okay, if somebody messes up once, is it over? Like, is it impossible for us to let them? But we got to be kind of cognizant of a few things with that. Like, if once someone's in trouble and you have a record for being in trouble, there are a lot of places you can't work, a lot of places you can't live.
that's only if you allow yourself
Fees. You have to. What are you talking about? I'm saying once you're in trouble.
to be. Oh, no. I'm saying like this. Like, even say, for example, like, all right, let's put it like this. Yes, in America, if you have a felony, and I feel like nowadays it's really not that hard to get a felony, especially with the laws that they're putting out.
Thank you.
You can still find ways to like manage yourself. Because think about it like this: you have rappers, and you have even people that are CEOs and big major heads in companies. You would never really suspect for them to have a felony and stuff like that, only because they don't put their business out there. And even more so, you'd be surprised where it's like, dang man, this guy has like, oh, this guy's talking about like, oh, all his troubles, like, oh, this guy did like fraud, and yet he's still making money. He literally just got out of federal prison for fraud, and he's still making money. And stuff like
It
that.
depends though on who's going to allow you. Like, if you think about somebody who's a CEO, and there are a couple companies like this. One's called 350 million jobs, but maybe that person created their own something and they became CEO of something new. But to feed themselves in the meantime, they have to do something.
But at the same time, that all comes within the risk of like, say for example, where it's like, look, in order to do something better in life, sometimes you have to go. Sometimes it gets worse before it gets better, especially when you decide to change your curvature in life, where you do want to do a big difference in something. But the problem with people is that, oh, when it gets hard and stuff like that, or when life is not going to your advantage, you get wussed out. You're like, no, let me go back to comfort. Let me go back over here where it's better and stuff. What I know and stuff.
But the
like
argument that you're making is that's usually black people's argument. White people don't do that. White people be like, white people wash their hands
But we're
of
not worried
people
about
in their
them.
family that go to jail.
But well,
They'll
okay.
defend you.
Okay, but
when you go to
yeah.
jail, I'm straight because I don't got it unless I got it. Black people not doing that. Especially black women, black mothers will defend their child even when they know you're wrong. Even when they know you're wrong. So when you are found guilty and you're wrong, when you get out, my baby didn't even do it. My baby. So of course you're gonna always have somewhere to go, but now you can't get a job and you can't get the money. And it lead back to what she's saying. What are you gonna do in the meantime?
Right, because something has to happen in the meantime. So if you can't get any work, then you can't pay your fees. If you don't pay your fees, then you're going back to jail.
You violate probation.
That's
If you violate probation,
exactly.
then you go back to jail. And if
Exactly.
you violate 3 times, it's a mandatory minimum.
Right.
But
Right.
it's one of those things like,
But are you gonna let that situation Are you gonna let that situation make you out, or are you gonna make it out of something? Like, you get what I mean?
I mean, the only alternative though in this case, and this is why it's called mass incarceration. This is why it's called the actual problem, because it's not just as simple as your psychology. It's a logistical conversation. So even if you decide, well, you know what, I can't afford anything, I can't find a job, no one will hire me, I'm just going to be homeless. Guess what? You can get in trouble being homeless because loitering is illegal. Being on premises, you're not allowed to be. That is trespassing. If somebody finds you taking a shower in a place that you did not are not allowed to take a shower, like a gym per se, you can be escorted off the property, and that means you violated probation. So it's like, it's impossible to be homeless or dirt poor without breaking the law. And that's what overcriminalization is about. There's over 400,000 laws in this country that are felony laws. And they're simple things. They're small things. And it's that easy.
yeah, but simple
So-
battery is a misdemeanor. Simple assault is a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
And it's called simple. So I could beat you up a little bit, but it's simple battery.
Yep.
Just
not aggravated
simple.
Yeah.
Just simple. Just a little misdemeanor.
You can get drunk in a bar in Alaska, for example, but you can't stay on the premises. So it's like if you're at a bar and they're drinking you a lot, you're drinking a lot, then before you get in your car, you can be charged with a felony. Because being drunk in public is against the law.
So
but if you go to a bar,
leaving the
get
bar to
drunk.
go to your car is a felony. Also, getting in your car to drive
okay,
is
well,
a
yeah,
misdemeanor.
of course. That's
So
more
think
understandable,
about
though.
that. It's a felony to be drunk in public,
I think
but a
that's
misdemeanor to drive drunk.
But you're allowed to get drunk. It's just that type of thing. It's
Yeah,
one those
a
types
lot of
little
things don't make sense.
Yeah.
I can go to a bar and get drunk and then leave that bar and commit, like literally from the bar to my car, felony.
Yeah. Or to your house. What if you're walking home? Which is what
Felony.
a responsible alcoholic would do. They would walk home.
Or what if you sleep in your car but you got a gun? Like we ain't even talk about that. I just watched the video. I'm talking about shot this little man car up. Oh, he was asleep.
Yeah.
He ain't even had a clip in the gun.
Yep. Can't vote. There's just a lot of different things that go along with.
But
having
it's
a felony.
slavery. That's what it is.
It is.
It's just one of those things like we gotta get you back in here somehow, and we gotta be able
Yeah.
to claim your body somehow.
Yeah. Do
Like-
you know the Jim Crow laws had it to where wife like hitting domestic assault or battery was a misdemeanor, but no, excuse me,
It was a felony.
was no. I think it was that killing someone had like a harsher punishment than, gosh, what was it? It was something that they said white people more tend to beat people. And so they made that a misdemeanor. But something like disturbing the peace or yelling or arguing or something that they found more
Was a
black
felony.
people, it was a felony. So like domestic
Yeah,
disturbance
that's how Martin Luther King
was a
got-
felony.
He's the only American citizen with over 300 felonies.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
He got 300 felonies.
In 2018, there were 4 Republicans running who were convicted felons. Mostly DUIs and other sorts of substance related. Most people are in jail for substance issues or dealing a substance, something like that. So, okay, moving a little bit further to sex crimes or sex violations. So Georgia's incredible General Assembly, which the session is now over now. They passed a really broad ban that prevented teachers and high school students from having relationships because it said the current law was difficult to enforce. And if you just look up teacher-student relationships in Georgia, you'll find about 20 different articles over the last month alone where 3 different teachers were accused of having sex or having inappropriate relationships with students. So this is a thing.
I just want to
These
know
are all
how
female
people find
teachers.
this out.
How do you?
It's kind of hard not to find out.
I'm
You know
just
how
saying,
quick
I
that
feel like-
17-year-old boy probably went to Instagram and was
No, I'm
like,
saying, who's snitching? That's what I want to know.
they're
Who's the
probably
teacher that
snitching.
pulled up on you?
they're
And-
probably snitching.
And like, if I'm smashing my teacher and I'm getting good grades, and I ain't even in her class for real, like she just got the fatty.
Yeah, one of these is a cheerleading coach who was messing around with a younger cheerleader.
was it
Another one was a
her?
sexting scandal. So I guess a teacher was sending photos of her breasts and stuff like that, and her underwear to a student.
Oh my God.
So she told on herself with that. But yeah, I guess this is a
That
thing.
was so crazy. Cause like, how you find out?
I'm sure these little kids tell. How tight-lipped is a
Yeah.
16-year-old kid?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you know the
teacher.
kid
Like,
snitching,
what?
like, come holler at me. I'm grown. I've been out of school.
Maybe they don't want you. Maybe you're too old. Maybe they want a little kid. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. One's right in Gwinnett County.
I'm not surprised.
This is a decent-looking teacher.
But that's what I'm saying. Look, these teachers are getting way more fine.
Yeah. Sarah
Like,
Cath-
I wish I was
They're
in
getting
school.
younger.
Google
They're getting
Sarah
younger.
Catherine Brooks. She's,
I
you know,
wish
if
I
you
was
like that
in
type of
school
thing.
right now.
Wait,
You
I
you remember
hate
the
you.
video,
I'm really-
the video online of the teacher with the fatty
Oh,
teaching
yeah.
the class, teaching English class with the ham hocks.
That was just wrong.
I'm talking about looking like
Just
she
wrong.
steal and put it in her back pockets.
I didn't see that.
No, she was. Oh my God, she was a blessing. But you know, I would have tried to take
She
her
was a
class
blessing.
every year.
You know what's so sad? The original of this, Mary Kay Letourneau and Vini, who's like the first teacher to really get it on with her student and fall in love with him and have several babies with him back in the 90s. They just split up.
They broke up.
Yes, they just split up. She'd
Man,
gone
that's
to
crazy.
jail for child molestation. She was accused of all these different sorts. She's like a sex offender 20 times over.
I mean, well, how old is she now? She's probably wrinkled and kind of,
Now she like
he don't want her
50
no more.
or something like that.
She's
right?
taking care of herself. They said
The
money
woman that you're
was
talking
a bit of
about
an
is
issue.
basic white
Yeah, because she can't get no job.
Exactly.
Right. Her name. His name was Veely. I remember their Lifetime movie. It was so good.
Yeah, they
And
got married.
They just looked so adorable.
They
They
got
just
married.
did a spread in People
It's
2
not-
years ago.
But
The
that's what I was confused about. Like he married her so she wouldn't go to jail,
yeah, but you still, you know.
The relationship
Nah.
doesn't have
and
the
she
fire
still had
that
to
it used
register.
to.
But
Right.
I don't think she served jail time, but she had to register as a sex offender, even though she married the person that. They
One
said
time she served
molested.
7 years though.
Dang.
No, she was sentenced to 7. She served, I think, half of that. But she had 2 of his kids before he was 15, despite the court orders. So, like, they were messing around when she got in trouble. And then in between time, I don't know if it was conjugal visits or her getting out on parole, they had 2 more kids.
Yeah, shooting that club
That's
all the way up.
crazy.
The
Yeah.
relationship didn't have the spice that it used to.
He said that
No,
he
I
loved
think he
her
got with her
very
because
much.
he married her because he felt like he had to.
Why would you
It's like-
say that? They've been
Because
together
he
for a
had
long
to.
time.
No, they was together for a while because he a grown man.
He is.
I don't know. Just to, like
Arranged
just
marriage?
like to save her image. Like she's been to jail. They have 2 kids. I feel like he was
No
just like, well, let me-
image. She broke. She can't ever get a job again.
She broke.
His mother at one point said, I mean, obviously at first she was very upset. And by the way, she's 57. He's 35 today. Initially, they said his mother was like, obviously you have to put my son's mind. Like he's development. Like he's gone now. You're a grown woman. He didn't have a chance. He was 12 when they met.
Wow.
Yes.
Dang, he was
That's
putting
sick
in
now
that
that I
work.
say
That's
Wait,
crazy.
and she was how old by that?
She was
20 something.
30.
30.
Whoa.
Putting in
30,
work.
31, yeah.
Whoa.
So they was together for 20 years?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
That's
She practically
crazy.
raised him.
They got
partly.
married in
Basically.
2007. So they've been married for about 12, but they've been together for a long time.
Yeah, they was together for a minute. 30 years.
That's something, man.
That's fine.
Okay, so that kind of
When a
brings me to-
12-year-old can pull a... That's crazy.
Shut up.
man. Shout out to
Shut
bro.
up.
Shout out to bro. Black kids
And she
can't do
had
that.
kids older than him at the time. She had teenage kids.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
See, people think that's weird.
That's dope.
Because you have kids that age, like, that's
No.
weird.
That's dope.
Your stepfather is
Imagine-
younger than you.
Imagine he come home like, son, bro, I'm older than you. Shut up.
I'm your stepfather.
Like you can't tell me what to do, bro. I'm 19. You
It tore her
13.
family apart.
I'm beating up the stepfather.
100%.
I'm in love. Dang, I wish I went to that school.
It just
I'm
kind of
not
makes you
gonna lie.
ask questions, though.
That would
You
be
know
so
what I mean? Like, they've
interesting
been
to see.
together longer than a lot of people who weren't pedophiles and divorced one another.
It would
Is a female? Yeah, you can be a female pedophile.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it won't, you're not going to be looked on the same way a man would.
Yeah, that was the discussion during the R. Kelly thing. Like, you remember Antoine Fisher?
Yeah.
That I always, when I went back and watched that movie, because when you watch that movie when it first came out, you was like, "Dang, this a real good movie." I watched that movie now, and I'm like, who wrote this?
Antoine Fisher.
You ain't never seen?
That
Oh, I
was so
forgot you like
emotional.
26.
20.
I'm 23.
Dang, you a baby.
Yeah, he is.
You ain't never seen it? Dang, watch that movie.
But a lot
Watch
of
that
these-
movie and come back and
Yeah.
you gonna see what I'm talking about.
All right. Is it a true story?
Wait,
Yeah.
you said Antoine who?
Fisher.
Antoine Fisher.
A lot
I feel
of
like that's
these
based on R. Kelly.
teachers- Oh, I see what you're saying now. I see what you're saying now.
Cause a lot of his story came out, like everybody knew.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody knew that Shawty would give him that work. Nobody said nothing.
No sensitivity
just-
whatsoever.
It-
Zero.
and that's probably the reason why people so sensitive now. Like, cause don't nobody believe you,
True.
even when you telling the truth. Because people have lied so much, you just like, cause you lying, like you lying. Like I don't care what you talking about, you lying.
It's like-
And then they really be lying, but it don't even matter. And it's a community thing. In the black community, like if you a liar, everybody gonna say something.
Yeah.
Everybody gonna say something. But it's the same thing if you telling the truth.
They only want to believe what they want to believe.
It's just media, bro. Like this whole that's why this presidential race. This is a super important presidential race
Yeah.
2020.
because they only talking about 6 people. It's 20 candidates
Right.
running.
Right.
That's a lot of candidates that
The
are
same
running.
thing happened before, though. It really did. There was 17 Republican candidates, and Donald Trump was all anybody wanted to do. Those candidates could have been having an actual event or a charity event or doing something really, really
And they
interesting.
only talked about Trump.
Yeah, Trump would be tying
that
his
was their
shoes,
fault,
and they
though.
would have cameras on Trump. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
But that was their fault. Like, don't talk about.
I just
the
want
dude.
you to look, youngin. This was them when they first met, and this is them last year, 2 years ago.
Oh.
So he's 13 there.
Oh,
Actually.
that's the guy. Oh.
And they're interracial and stuff. This only brings a question to me because so after the R. Kelly situation, people started digging up lots of different white entertainers, and including Elvis, and people who had younger girlfriends or younger groupies over the past and wondering what the problem. But it's like there was a point in time where 18 wasn't the age of consent. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
It used to be 15.
14, right.
Yeah.
And then
14,
before that,
14.
and in other cultures, it was just, okay, well, the second you hit puberty. So if you hit
Yeah.
puberty, you're an adult.
When you see blood, that's when it was going to go.
So it's like, I also kind of feel like, you know what? And then you know what else kind of troubles me too is that when high school kids, like an 18-year-old, a senior who's dating a sophomore or a senior who's dating a junior,
Statutory
like
rape.
it is statutory rape. And sometimes, and it does not matter how she feels or he feels or they feel. It really doesn't because
It's the law.
Yeah.
But then when is the law? Because say for example, like now that you're bringing this up, then this is a whole lot of this is based on cultural things. Then when does it? Because say for example, I get where you're coming from. Because truth be told, me, don't get me wrong. Like when I see this, it's like yeah, this is disgusting. But mind you, humans like how many years ago this wasn't really like a bad thing.
Right.
Like you would see people like okay, Jebediah over here is like 32 years old. He's marrying like an 11-year-old.
Jebediah.
And it's like yo.
Why'd you use that particular name
But
in
it's
this
crazy because
conversation?
when you study history, and you realize how young women got married.
Oh yeah.
Like my grandmama got married at 14.
Mine
Her
did too.
husband was 18.
She actually had my mom at 14.
In some other countries,
Wow.
they get married at 10.
But she only got an 8th grade education.
Mm-hmm.
He joined the military. So it's one of those things like
Times were different.
but the question is, were times actually different, or is it different because black people are different? Because white people have always done this. White people give their children away.
But even they frown upon it now.
No, they frown upon it because it's us, and when they I notice when they talk about us doing stuff, it sounds super disgusting and like horrifying. When they talk about them, it sounds like the thing to do.
That's because you got
Think about Elvis. People praise Elvis for being with Shorty. She was like 13. She was 13. 13, 14. They pray like, oh my God, she's beautiful. That's your girlfriend? Oh my God, wow. She in magazines with
The
them.
voice.
Like, if you read some of those autobiographies of people that was around, and when you read those stories, it's like,
Yeah.
She 13, cuz.
Yeah.
That's because we're looking at it from a more advanced standpoint from these guys back then. Because we human civilization and cultures at best, we all go at it at a different rate. Like even though, like say for example, like white
This
culture.
girl is 13.
What?
How?
Yeah,
Oh,
she was young.
wow.
What?
13, 14, right?
She between 13 and 15.
You would have not.
He got married.
Look at how
He got
14
married
used
to
to
her,
look
she
back
was young.
then.
She
14 was different than
She like a grown
She
woman.
looks grown.
But you know who else looked like that? What's the chick from Wizard of Oz? What's her name?
Oh yeah, Judy Garland.
Judy Garland. She was
looks
young.
Yeah, I couldn't
yeah,
tell
yeah.
her.
In Wizard of Oz. I thought she was a grown woman.
Yeah,
She was like a teenager in that movie. I didn't know this. I did not know
because
this.
some people just don't look like.
They look way grown.
I do think people look much younger now. I really do. I think that I don't know if it's the water or what it is.
Topanga. Think about how men think about Topanga.
Topanga.
I love Topanga.
I have
Meets
every single episode of Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
Bro,
When she got like
I have
the
every
body,
episode.
I love Topanga.
she was only
But you know
13,
what?
14 years old.
Disney stars back in the day, they were developed.
Yeah.
Like Disney, if you watch Disney
Yeah.
now, it's like kids.
They went the opposite way.
But like Raven Simone, what's the other one? Hillary Duff.
The
they
Raven
had
was the
boobs.
only. No, they didn't. Okay, so go back. Raven Simone's the only exception to that rule.
Hillary
Duff
was
had no, and has none. Doesn't need it. Neither did Miley Cyrus. They've literally gone in the way that they want
They've
people to
grown.
look very
And the
prepubescent.
fact-
And
well-
if you look grown, it's actually a bad.
But Hillary Duff
thing.
still looked like a kid.
Look at Selena Gomez.
I mean, we'll go back to Raven Simone. On her show, she was playing like a 14-year-old. Like, you're not supposed to look like that at 14.
Yeah,
But look
she-
at, like,
she was
Chelsea.
on there as a
That was
14,
just her.
and when she was a grown woman, she was still on that show.
Yeah, she's just built like
She
that.
got a young face, but like a grown woman body.
Yeah, and she was. I don't remember anybody else looking like her because I remember
Topanga.
this.
Nobody.
Okay, but there's like
Topanga
a
is
20-year
the
gap
best
between Boy Meets
look-
World and That's So
But
Raven.
I'm saying, like, Topanga was fine, bro.
Look at Miranda.
Cosgrove?
Yeah, like and all these other ones, they look like
grown women.
no,
Oh no, she like a baby.
like babies.
She's like a baby.
Ariana Grande looks like a baby. Selena Gomez looks like a baby. They all look like they're way too young for you to be looking at.
Look
So,
at I don't even know how to say her name. Chloe something. She's married. She was married. Well, they just broke up. She was married to Vitaly Klitschko.
Sylvanie.
Yeah, that's how you say her name.
Oh.
She was in
I just guessed.
look up.
She's big, but I just
Vitaly
heard.
Klitschko's ex-wife. They got a son together. I don't know how to say her name.
I typed in
yeah.
Chloe Savini. Nobody came up.
Sevigny.
So she's Russian.
That maybe is not who you're talking about. But at any rate,
No, she's married to the boxer. But like, if you look at her, she's been acting for a long time. She always looked like that. She was always like super pretty, extra young face. The girl that was in Kick-Ass.
Who?
Ain't that the same girl?
Oh no, that's Chloe Grace Moretz. That's my
Yeah, her.
girl. I love her. She's from Georgia.
Give me Violet.
Yeah.
She's dope.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Chloe Grace
She was
Moretz. I
married
love
to
her.
a
I love
boxer.
her.
And I'm like,
She was not married to a boxer. You're thinking about somebody else. She's not been married
Hold on,
yet.
I'm about to tell you.
I stalk her.
I'm about to tell you.
She's in real life looks just like that. Like she's so small.
Yeah,
and she looks so small and she looks really, really young.
When she
Still
was
fine.
on that 70 show, I didn't know she was 14. I didn't know she was 14.
That's what I'm saying. Look, the girl that used to play
But Donna
Ruth,
did.
the girl that used to
Donna
play Ruth.
from that 70 show.
What?
She looked grown.
Yeah, she always
looked
looked
the
like
whole
that.
time.
She always looked like that.
Yeah.
The girl that played Ruth on Seven Heaven.
Oh, yeah,
baby
Jessica.
girl when
Oh,
she
the
grew up
baby.
a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
her body just grew. The
Yeah.
other girl, the other sister,
Yeah.
and then we knew Jessica Biel was like, we're gonna be.
Bro.
But she was the oldest, wasn't she?
But
Yeah, but she was
she
yeah.
was still young. She was young when she was on Seven Heaven, and that body was like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they try to young you down, like even with the boy bands, they try to young you down. I was just watching Lance Bass's documentary from NSYNC yesterday. And he was talking about what was this? Lou Pearlman, I guess, and how he may have tried to touch some of the members. And Lou Pearlman is a single investor and kind of music mogul who was behind Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, LFO, like lots of really popular, very successful boy bands. Who apparently he was robbing blind, but also supposedly was also inappropriately touching. But they say that they didn't want them to look older, like for Disney and
Hayden
audiences.
Panettiere.
Hayden
That's her
Panettiere,
role.
yeah,
Hayden
yeah.
Panettiere,
Yeah.
I
She
know
looked
her.
like a baby,
She does.
except from the neck down.
Yeah, but she's always.
But she got a
been,
boob
like,
job.
She's always had a great body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Even when she was young,
Yeah.
she was built. Like I'm like, how you?
But look at Ariana Grande's. Like some people just look like kittens.
Nah, these
and
girls
the question
be out
is
here.
like,
I realized. Look, so I did this program, this little volunteer program, like with little basketball camp, and I seen some of these little girls, and I'm like, yo, I would punch my daughter in the face. Like, don't ever come out the house with little
Yeah.
but now that I'm thinking about it, it's like that's only because I got a daughter. Cause if I had a son, I'd be telling my son jump down.
I
but
say all
people
the
do
time.
trip about like little short shorts, like especially if you want to wear a long shirt and like short shorts.
Nah, put some clothes on. But that only because I got a daughter. Put some clothes on before we fight, like a physical fight. But when you realize like it is the thing. Like that's always been the thing. Like the booty shorts or the coochie cutters or whatever name they want to give them. It's always been a thing in these streets.
I just feel like it's like duh. Like, well, you shouldn't. I just feel like that person has something on. And it's mostly women that I hear
put
complain
clothes
about
on.
this a lot, where they're just like, it looks like you
clothes
don't
on.
have anything on. It's like, why wouldn't I have anything? There's a meme for this that I love. It cracks me up. If you follow a boy with no job, hilarious. Follow a boy with no job on Instagram. But he talked about this like
I mean, it always
when
be
somebody has
women
a
with
really
trash
short
bodies.
shorts and somebody's just like, oh no, like I don't have anything on underneath. I decided to wear my bare out at the Walmart today. I just wanted to let it fly. Like, come on.
Nah,
you
it
know
just-
I got something on.
But it be women that be having trash bodies that be complaining. Like, oh my
Is that what
God,
it is?
look at her.
Is that what it is?
Why you mad?
That's a shame.
Because
We're,
if your body was better, you dress different.
So that's what it is. Jealousy.
I don't know. That is what it feel like though, because you don't really see a lot of dudes that be complaining, and it's just because you can't be a dude that complain and compliment. Like, man, her body great, but like, I wish she put some clothes on. You're not gonna ever hear that. You'll hear women do that. Like, I mean, she's beautiful, but like, she don't even have to show all that. That's what she want to
There's
do.
children here.
That's what she want to do. But these also be the same women. They be like, don't objectify women. Well, don't be an object.
Bro.
It sound bad when you say it, but like,
No, but it's so true though.
don't do that to yourself.
It's so true because what?
No,
I'm
'cause
sorry.
It's like,
We're
say
getting
for example,
close.
like me and my homeboy, like we were literally talking about this like a couple of days ago, where it's like, say for example, on Instagram and shit like that, and you go on Instagram. and
Language.
it's- Okay, my
Yeah,
bad.
you're gonna get
Actually, hold on, because I want to get into what you're saying, but Joseph's giving me a cue, so we got to take a break. We're gonna come right back and talk about what kind of logic I think you were just getting at right when we were
Nah,
talking to
put
the
clothes
leadership
on,
blend
bro.
with Simone Cherie.
put some clothes on.
Somebody give me, somebody tell me the answers. Me and you isn't the answer. Me and you isn't. Maybe I'm telling myself that, but there ain't nothing that'll change that. What good would it be if I knew how you felt about me? Yeah. It could have been right, but I was wrong. Only think about you and I'm alone. Part of me that cared is gone, and I know that I can't get caught up. We could have been, and we try to pretend every now and again. We don't dream about, don't think about what we could have been. No, I'm holding it in, 'cause I know in the end, you dream about, I think about what we could have been. We could have been, we could have, damn. Remember the night in Miami. First time you put your arms around me. I'm up reminiscing, and thinking about you isn't helping. Thinking about you doesn't tell me what good it would do if I decide to face the truth. It could have been right, but I was wrong. I only think about you and no. You only hit me up when she's not home, and that's why I can't get caught up. We could have been, and we try to pretend every now and again. We don't dream about, don't think about what we could have been. Oh, yeah. I'm holding it in, 'cause I know in the end, you dream about, I think about what we could have been. We could have been. We could have. We could have been. We could have been. We could have been. We could have been.
Hey, what we could have been, what we should have been. If I wasn't with somebody, if we gotta hide it, what's the point of trying? I ain't just your friend, no, what's the point of lying? Trying to sell a story, ain't nobody buying. Look me in my eyes, don't that feel nice? Why should it end? Baby, I could have been him or your friend. Just say what and when, where to make a trip. Baby, make a wish, be the one I'm with. Should've been shoulda, coulda, would have been. Hey, yeah, I would have been.
Damn.
Yeah, I would have been.
All right. Everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to the Leadership Blend with Simone, Cherie, and
Shaib.
Kyle, Andrew.
And Double R in the building.
all right. So Kyle's going to present a story to us right now. We want to hear what's going on with Cardi B.
All right, so recently on Instagram, Cardi B, there was this video of her. It was an old video. It's like made 3 years ago, but she admitted to robbing and drugging men to survive. She says, quote, it says, the video, which Cardi B says was made 3 years ago, made its way to Twitter last weekend and features Cardi B reminiscing about the time when she was a stripper and she had to drug N-words up and rob them. And so now people are saying that her image is most likely to withstand this, but there are people who are saying that you have to do what you have to do, and there are people who are saying, like me, if you're going to get to the top, do it legitimately. So,
Like you. In what way?
Not necessarily. I'm just saying, like, why are you having to drug men?
Yo, can we have a real
So
conversation?
why is she not in the same conversation, in the same pool of names with Bill
Because
Cosby?
can we have the
Because
same
it's
conversation?
who's
We have a
persecuting
real
them.
conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, if you listen to her whole quote, she smashed. She let them smash. And they was already high.
We don't know that. That's not what she said.
She let them. She was selling the poon. It was for
It
sale.
It sounds like she was offering it, but then just drugging people and robbing them.
Yeah, because some people,
in some
people,
cases, but I'm like, if you want to have those real conversations,
Yeah,
It's like
'cause
you
at
walk
first-
into a strip club and there's no strippers. It's just a whole bunch of dudes that jump you. And
Yeah,
take
I mean,
your-
I watched
take
the
your
video
money.
and I
just got set up.
misinterpreted. I was thinking that maybe she was in a situation that she didn't want to be in, and she maybe
No.
drugged them to save her.
No.
But
She's
she
from the
was
Bronx.
drugging them on purpose.
She's
And
from
that's
the
what I'm
Bronx,
saying,
bro.
like,
She's from the Bronx.
in the real conversations, when you really out there for real,
Mm-hmm.
that's the steez. That's the steez.
I can't get with it.
She's from the Bronx.
It's for sale.
What does that mean?
Look, it's
If
for
you're from New
sale.
York, you would understand.
It's
Man.
for sale. I don't want to give it to you though, but I want that money.
So it's not for
It's
sale.
certain people that you gotta listen. Like listen to Big Sean. Big Sean got a whole song on his album where he literally talks about inviting a girl back to his crib. They chilling, they kicking. He smashed. He go take a shower. She steal all his stuff: jewelry, wallet, check, phone, everything.
But there hasn't
Just
been a
dip.
single celebrity tweet about this, which is very interesting.
Because
You think
dudes
that-
won't. And look, you have to be honest. That's not something that a dude will admit to. Man, yeah, bro. Man, we
She's
went back to the
robbed.
hotel.
She was accused.
There was a guy that came out
It
and
just
said
did, they
that
couldn't
he-
do anything with it. Yeah.
I
let me
mean,
see if I can
YB and
find
Jake.
that.
I mean, YB and Almighty got jumped. And I mean, he probably got his chain snatched up too. So I mean,
But it's one of those things like if you smash it for money.
oh, you're talking about it.
You smash it for money, but you robbing for money. Like I'm not robbing you, cause I'm not drugging you because I want to smash.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, people that really be in the streets understand that. Like,
So his name is Kevin Smith. It says in a statement, Kevin Smith claimed that Cardi B robbed him around 5 years ago and that she stole his iPod Touch, Louis Vuitton belt, and $850. He says, I was in New York about 5 years ago training, and my trainer suggested that we go to the strip club. Normally, I wouldn't have turned him down, but I would have turned him down, but I decided to go. So he stole
She's
from her.
She's not denying it at all. She said, "I'm no angel." She said, "I've never put any of this in my music." She said, "I'm not proud of it. I'm not trying to glorify
but
it."
people like city girls.
Yeah.
People love the city girls.
Yeah.
Hold on.
City girls was like, I'm a scam your man.
Yeah.
I'm a steal every. Listen to their music.
She said she's never put it in her music. End quote.
Listen to their music though.
No. You know what's really ironic about all this? No, because I'm really sorry to cut you off, but I gotta explain this because it's like when these females are over here doing the same thing that these guys are over here doing with the hood mentality that a man is doing, and it happens to them, they get mad. And it's really funny only because it's like I can't be mad at this. Like looking at it, it's like yeah, this is a bit concerning to really be honest. It is, but I can't get mad because literally these women are being influenced by the same guys that they're with. And the same guys that they're with.
I just want to see a dude come out like, yeah, bro, I was drugging girls and stealing their stuff.
No, but she
But people are going to take that completely differently.
They
And that's
are.
what
They
I'm
really are.
saying.
That's
But
not
she
fair.
compared it to every other rapper who does talk about he's had to kill people, he's had to bury bodies, he's had to do illegal stuff. So she's like, I had to do illegal stuff. She's saying, I'm a rapper too. I've done illegal stuff.
And people and I watched like a Joe Biden podcast where he was saying like people like to use the culture of hip hop when it's convenient. No, the culture
Yeah.
of hip hop is convenient. It is convenient where you can say anything that you've ever done and say and chuck it up to.
But then when you get to an
It's for
interview,
hip-hop.
I was
As
going to
an
say, then
art
when you get to
form.
an interview, you chalk it up like, well, you know. This,
or when you do an interview with certain people, you snitching.
But when
No,
you're on
I said it
Twitter-
all in my music.
But when you're on Twitter and
form of
saying this
art.
happened, like when you're saying I'm.
art.
It's art.
This is art.
But then you
Why?
go on
This is why
Twitter
they
and
get
say
rid of it.
I'm responsible. I feel responsible. I'm not
But
glorified. So then
when-
that's admitting it. If somebody's really hunting for her, Jussie Smollett just got 16 charges for something very, very small. So to say that you've been drugging people and drugging dudes, you can't really backtrack from that. If somebody really wanted to put charges on her, I feel like
They can't.
And
they may not
can't.
stick.
Because,
But they definitely could,
because
'cause you
then
admitted to doing
what
it.
you also have to admit to is the same thing that Robert Kraft has to admit to, which is soliciting prostitution.
Wait, I want to add on to something that Kyle
Well,
mentioned
yeah,
on earlier.
yeah. But
Soliciting
they may be willing to
prostitution-
do that.
But soliciting prostitution in the state of New York brings jail time.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to admit to soliciting prostitution.
They may be willing to do that.
If he
Think
was
about
gonna-
how many deals get made all the time.
But if he was
especially
going
if
to
you're
do it, he
like,
would have did it when he came out with his story. No, I was soliciting prostitution and she robbed me. No, that's not what he said. He said that my partner told me to go to the strip club. I went to the strip club and she stole all this. He didn't say, and my partner took me to the strip club, because what really happened, his partner took him to the strip club. His partner
DAs
told
can't
him.
make a deal with him.
His partner told him about Cardi. Hey, shout her right there. Her teeth messed up, but boy, she got that fire. And he was like, boy, she got that fire. And he was like, boy, she got that fire. All right, I'm finna go to the ATM. He went to the ATM. He got the Louis belt. So she like, oh, what are you doing? Yo, you want to go back to this hotel? Because then the question becomes, where did she steal all your stuff from?
My person, my iPod
You
Touch.
took it.
Well, no,
But
he
she-
said just like Big Sean, he went to the bathroom and then she was gone
Oh,
with
wait.
all of his things.
So he ain't even get drugged.
Oh, okay. So he
Which
just
means
got robbed.
that
He
he
just got
said-
robbed.
This is what he says.
Smashed.
This is what he says.
So he
Last
just
thing I
got robbed.
remember was she was twerking on me, music blasting, and that was it. The next morning, I saw a used condom on the floor, and then I noticed all the cash I had, which was $850. My Louis Vuitton belt and my iPod Touch was missing. I tried calling her several times, but soon realized she gave me a Google Voice number.
If a dude,
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Told
So you literally smashed.
That doesn't
but-
mean
and
you deserve
thought
to get
that
robbed.
was your girl.
doesn't mean you deserve to get robbed.
He thought that was his girl though, because he had the number.
Then he
Yo,
thought
Jennifer, and
he
you
had the
just met her.
number.
You can't think that's your girl.
So
How-
what?
And she's from the
How you
Bronx.
call her?
She's from the Bronx, man.
None
You're
of
in
that-
New York.
Think about
He
this.
had just met her that night.
And that's
It's
what
crazy out there.
Hold on,
Hold
think
on,
about
hold
this,
on.
Simone. Think
Go
about
ahead.
this. He just met her.
Okay.
When did you get her number?
I'm assuming sometime that night they
My
exchanged
point
numbers.
exactly. So if she gave you the number,
Uh-huh.
That means nothing.
she
That
gave you the
means
number
nothing.
and y'all went back to the hotel. Why would you need to call me if I'm coming home with you?
I'm hoping we will speak again or
Maybe
meet
she was still
again.
working. Maybe she
trying
was
to-
That's
like,
not the
"Let me
point.
go,
None of
you know,
this is
home
the
with you when
point.
I
None
get
of
home."
it.
The problem is that she worked at the same club for a very long time, and nobody
That's not the problem.
nobody ever ran up
All
on
right,
Cardi.
look, I'll give you this. There's a stigma for men about being victims of rape and being victims of assault, especially if your victimizer is a female. It's different if you're a little boy and it's Michael Jackson. It's different if you're a little boy and it's a grown man. This is a woman, presumably actually a very short one.
But-
So
but
maybe
he
there's
got
too much
played,
pride in
though.
saying that I got played and he kept it to
And what are
himself.
you gonna do? You're gonna go to the club and try to beat up Cardi?
You're gonna say a stripper raped me?
He smashed. It wasn't rape.
It is rape if you're
But you
drugged
still
and you're
got robbed,
unconscious
though.
because you can't give consent.
You still got robbed though.
He put
he got robbed.
He put the Joan on,
But you still got
smashed,
robbed.
took the Joan off, throw it on the floor.
But you still got robbed though. You still
You're
got
creating a
piece of you
case
that
for
was
Cardi
taken
B,
away, though.
and
A
she
piece
hasn't
of
even
pie
made that
being
case for
dismissed.
herself.
I mean,
Man, Cardi said, "I did what I did."
She
Come
just
fight
lost me because in that statement she said, I did what I had to do. And then when all this heat started coming, she said, everybody was willing. Who was willing to get drugged and robbed?
Everybody was
they were
willing
willing
to
to
come.
have sex, but they weren't willing to get robbed.
Exactly.
I couldn't even see somebody willing to get raped
this
and not
is
willing to get robbed.
But this is the
I'm just-
thing.
I'm-
If I work at the same club and I'm doing the same thing for a long period of time, that means you heard about me.
Of course.
oh, shut
no, wait.
up.
You heard about
Maybe
me.
he thought he was
No.
different and they had something special.
No,
That's
but
what I'm saying. He thought they
No.
was together.
That's
No, but
okay.
No, but on some real, even though I ain't gonna lie, even though I've been saying oh Bronx, she's from the Bronx and all that, you got to take in consideration this is New York, and especially the Bronx out of the major boroughs in New York, there's a certain griminess and a certain to the Bronx. There's a certain dang, this really is real out here. Even Cardi says it herself. Out there in the environment, there are certain things that you have to do in that sort of limelight in order to make it out or to be where she was. I'm not giving her leeway.
And I felt she
I'm
brought
just-
that on herself.
Yeah, I'm not over here saying okay, Cardi, yeah, you get a pass. I understand what you had to do. These were the things that you had to.
And she been
overcome.
stripping.
You understand that?
Cardi been
No,
stripping
I mean,
since he
not
was
I actually
15.
been there doing that. Not okay, I've been there doing that with you, Cardi. But it's more all right, due to your environmental, due to your environment and how you had to go along with it, I understand this was something just like we were talking about earlier. This is something that you had to do in order to get out from the position and make it better on. But what I was gonna try to do with I was trying to go on with what Kyle said, where it's okay, how come we're not bashing her the same way we're doing R. Kelly and all these other guys? It's only because truth be told, we were the ones to bring her in, and we already have an emotional tie to Cardi. So it's because no way, hear me out though, because that's why we could be able our generation. That's why we're so easy to all right, Bill Cosby, we don't care, throw him under the bus, give him justice and stuff like that. R. Kelly, throw him under, do the same thing. Cardi B, we actually saw you as a personality, and we brought you to where you have to be. So there's a connection with the main public's not going to be over here and be oh yeah, Cardi, we're going to drag you off and stuff like that.
But that's
That
what I'm
comes with
saying. If you listen to
But
City Girls,
Can we just? But
admit to scam. JT went to jail for scamming dudes.
Where was she at when she got arrested?
She was in Atlanta,
Oh, okay.
but she was scamming dudes. I know from being from Florida, scamming is real. I'm talking about a whole different type of real. She from a city in Florida where they type of scams usually be girls be scamming dudes. Pulling up, stealing their credit card, stealing their
That's a whole
wallet.
different ball field of crime though too.
And that's what I'm saying. But the problem is that they admit it all. And it's in their music.
Of course.
I only want to mess with a rich boss so I can scam this. These are their lyrics. They telling you in their songs this is what I'm doing. I'm messing with you so I can scam you. I'm doing this so I can scam you. Cardi never put it in her music, but everybody know her story. And that's my thing. She worked at the same club. She's been stripping since she was 15. Been popping it since she was 15. If she been doing this, why ain't nobody ever run up?
Because it wasn't. She never got blown up to where she is
Sometimes
right
it takes 20 years.
Or it was one of them things where I caught that L.
now. Yeah.
Right. I mean, look.
Or
I
they
hear
went
that.
back. I know from being in the streets, it don't matter what a girl do. If she give you if she give you that work, she can steal all your stuff. But if it's good, you gonna come back.
Maybe if you ain't got you.
You're gonna
You ain't
come
going.
back.
You just don't want to steal all your
Look,
stuff. Like
I'm telling you from experience.
I've seen
some
men
people-
slap some women for less. For stealing all
but
their
I done
stuff.
seen a dude come to the spot. Yo, what's shorty?
Charge it.
Hey, look, it's gonna cost you $200. Man, I ain't got number 150. Give me 170, bro. You go do your thing. You go do your thing. She stole your money the last time you was here.
I pray to God.
You
I'm
come
never,
back.
Never that whipped.
And
I've
that's
never
what
been
I'm
that
saying. Like,
whipped. Never that whipped.
look,
It's just
certain,
different. It's different.
certain people are willing to
Yo,
catch
Kyle, you shoot me.
L's. They're willing to catch an L just for like a small win. Like, and we started with this Jeff Bezos thing. Like, shout out to Jeff Bezos, because I want to know how he do this. So it broke this morning. So everybody know that they getting a divorce. Mackenzie, she'll keep 25% of the Amazon stock.
Okay.
And it reads that it'll give her a 4% stake in the company, but Jeff will retain voting control over all her shares. So she can't vote as a shareholder. And they say that her market value to what she owns is $35 billion. So I don't actually have to give you my net worth, because what the 25% of the stock that you own, the shares in the company, is worth this much.
$36 billion.
Which is crazy because he's worth 180. If the stock is worth 35, 36, what the rest of them shares worth? That's what I want to know. Like, what the rest are worth? Because if I only got to give up a little 35 and I can keep 100, all right, shorty, we good.
Okay.
Do you think?
Okay.
He said anybody's wondering if he's hurt. He said, quote, I still tap dance into the office.
I'm still tired. That's great. But
I just think there's,
It shows
This
you
is-
how
yeah.
arrogant he is. Like,
I think he's just at
not
that
arrogant,
level. He's
just
at that
like
level.
super confident. Like, no, I wanted to get out. I knew that if I cheated, I'd get out. But we also don't have a prenup.
So I guess it really wasn't any.
So if I cheat,
actually.
I know I'm gonna have to give up some money. But look at what I'm worth.
I think when you have a couple billion, there's just no,
What you gonna do to
there's
me?
diminishing returns at that, basically. Like money just feels like $1 million is almost just like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a level of wealth that you're just not tripping, which is why I think 36 bill, that 25%, she's not tripping. She's just
Yeah,
not.
but she probably super happy.
I mean, does she have a kid?
I don't know if she's happy. He cheated on her. It's not like she was ready to leave.
Yeah, I mean, you was probably
wanted to
mad at your marriage, but happy that you got to walk away with something because they didn't have, like,
'Cause I mean,
they didn't have a prenup.
No.
They didn't think
They were
about
happy,
that.
and
They
he
didn't have a
contends that it's
prenup.
not ugly. He says it's not an ugly
They
thing.
didn't have a prenup. So by law, and that's my beef with marriage, but we're not gonna go into that. Like, by law, half.
Well, yeah.
And she get the house. That's just by law, which I never understood. That's my house. I bought that. She got to get out. But anyway, she getting $35 billion. I'm still worth $100. Like, that's what's so crazy. I'm still gonna be worth $100 billion when she leaves, and I'm good.
True.
And he admits to being good. Like, I read this story this morning. Like, yo, he a genius. Cause 2 weeks ago they was like, no, she gonna get 50% of everything.
Well, yeah, that's usually how it goes with the prenup. Usually. But these are so many billions that you don't need 50%. You just don't. I mean, it's just not.
Yeah,
I
what
don't
you gonna
know.
do with
It's not a
35
big
billion?
deal.
And you by
it's
yourself.
not a big deal.
I would have been happy with.
You by yourself. I can see they had like small children. You by yourself.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? Who wants
Yep.
you now? You got too much money.
Everybody does now.
Dudes is about to be mad intimidated and they gonna jump down because she
Nope.
got the money.
No, I mean some of them maybe, but some of them are going to be like the dirtbags, just like, yeah, bro, she has money now. Let me see if I can just try to
But her outlook on things is like, look at who my ex-husband was.
Okay, yeah, you got a point.
And you ain't better than that. You ain't even close to that.
She'll probably have a
cheated on
show.
you? He cheated on you, though?
Oh no, she gonna get a book. She about to get a book deal.
But I hope she does a show. Because everybody has a book, and
I don't
books can
wanna
just
see-
be, unless
I
you're going to
don't-
have an audiobook and it's dope.
Everybody
I don't
has-
want to see
Don't
her.
do it. Don't do it.
Everybody has a show, too. She's going to be like, what, Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
I don't want to
to
see her. I don't want to watch.
No,
a
I
show
mean
with
like
her
an
on.
actual show.
Don't give her
Because
no show.
Prime now has its own platform and it's streaming lots of different content, like creating content.
Yep.
So
Don't give her no show.
Can't she have a show?
Like a
He may
talk
want her to
show?
have a show. He said they're friends.
They probably cool, but like
I mean, is that what everybody says after
I think
the
everything's cool when you have that many billions of dollars.
No, no,
I just
no.
think everything's cool.
I mean, financially, emotionally, though?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, she probably
Because
hurt.
he wanted this. You know what I mean?
He wanted
So,
that breakup,
He wanted this empire, and he got it. So
but he wanted that breakup too. He wanted that breakup. That's a whole different type of breakup. He wanted that thing.
okay, before we leave, and since we are kind of talking, well, not entertainment, but a little bit about entertainment. So Us is still the #1 movie as of today,
I saw it.
and which is dope. Congratulations, Jordan Peele. I love looking at like fan theories and like reading forums and reading movie reviews and trying to see like what people think happened. And I'm still in like a couple really dope Inception ones right now.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a new theory about Us I just heard that I'm like so fascinated by. And did you ever see it after we
Yeah.
talked about it last time?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
what's the new theory? that
So
you
the
heard?
theory is that Red's son, right, whose name was, Adelaide's son, Jason, who had like a puppy counterpart in the Red world, puppy monster sort of a thing, that they were switched also. So the theory is that, like at the end of the movie, you see them kind of look at each other when they're driving away and kind of giving each other like the nod or something about him looks like, you know what I mean? Like they kind of make eye contact with each other. And throughout the movie, they seem to have a relationship that's very interesting. The theory is that he is actually a tether, that he was replaced as well, and that the burnt-faced twin of his, doppelganger of his, had been switched and shoved down there a long time ago too. That's the theory. Because when they open into the movie, you learn that Jason also got lost at the beach at one point, but then they just kind of leave it alone. Then he was on the beach. He was digging tunnels. When most kids dig sandcastles, and they showed some little sandcastles, he was digging tunnels, which I think is kind of a clue. And when they all sit down around the living room table, basically she doesn't tell him to kill him. So like with the mom, with the husband and with her daughter, she's like, go kill him. Like they got scissors, they're ready to kill. But with the two boys, she's like, go play. I don't know. I feel like it's a possibility. I feel there's gonna be a sequel. And I feel like he might have been a tether. But did you like the movie? Ricardo said he was under the seat. Oh, there we go. He said he was under the seat.
He's not invited though.
But now I'm obsessed with this film, and I've looked up 2 different blogs and 2 different theories
I have
in the
not
last
seen it yet.
couple of
I gotta
days.
go watch
Everything,
it
I'm
again.
confused by everything.
I
you
have to
said.
watch it again. I have to watch it at
I've
least
already
one more
seen
time.
it twice.
No, this one.
Oh, you have?
I've seen it twice. I'm gonna go watch it again.
In theaters, or did you?
No, I seen it in theaters,
Okay.
and it's fire.
Oh, yeah.
I went to go see Pet Cemetery the other
I'm
day
sure-
at the screening.
How was that?
Really?
Stephen King, bro.
If you ever read that book, that book
I have.
is gross.
Yeah.
That movie,
I heard about it.
I
love
watched.
Stephen
I had to
King.
go back and watch the original movie, the original Pet Cemetery, and I was like, "Yo, this new one is fire."
It is really, really creepy. I love
It's
horror
fire.
movies. I love
I
horror
do too.
movies.
I love
Yeah.
a really good one.
I'm happy that they're starting to make really good, because it's really only like 4 or 5 in the last couple of years. Like to me, what's the joint with the little girl?
The little girl, Emily Rose type thing, or The Orphan.
Oh,
That was
The
alright.
Conjuring.
The Conjuring is my
Okay.
joint.
That was
That's
a
my
great
Yeah.
joint. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
the,
That was good. That was good.
What's the?
I think Insidious was the.
A Quiet Place is on Hulu. I
What
haven't
about
seen it
Haunted
yet though.
of
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
It
I
was
like
funny.
yes, but I like
Yeah.
the original, man.
It was funny.
The original.
And I like what's the where they got the cameras in the crib?
Oh,
Paranormal Activity.
First of all, so I read a bunch of reports after that first movie came out. Like, no, these are all based on true events.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, nah, they lying. Then
No, I
when
think
you
they're
watch
telling
the
the truth.
second one, the it's a report online. Like I kept reading stuff like, no, the girl that's actually in this film, it happened to her. I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
nah.
We're going to get into a couple more topics for you. We're not done. It's Friday. It's April 5th. And we're going to be right back to the Leadership Blend with Simone after this break.
something right here. I saw me a pretty young gal. Girl was looking like yeah. She was looking like nah. You know what I'm saying? But the girl talked too much. I told her it could be all real simple. It's a real simple process, this love thing. That's what I tell her right here. I said, you feeling me and I'm feeling you. What we gonna do? Shut up and group. Shut up. When you listen to your boy right here, that's when everything starting to go right for you. Come on, you know you have it. I'm telling you, this thing real easy.
Welcome back to the Leadership Blend. It's Friday, April 5th. I'm Simone Cherie, and I'm joined by...
I should go last.
You should go last, especially since you popped up. But
you're
here now.
But
you're here now.
Because you want to be here now. Like, you should go first.
Yes, we have another body.
Oh, good grief.
We have another body, the original host of this show, Ricardo, who I feel like is sneaking in almost like I'm in a client meeting and my boss just wanted to come and see how it was going.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I was going to close this. Like, I didn't need you that
secretly, that's how I feel. I'm just like, you know what? This is a boss move. Shouts out to Simone. I texted her today and was like, okay, so y'all going to be on your own because I have some things I need to take care of. But those that don't know, I'm building a magazine team, so yes, that's coming. So I needed to look through resumes, which I still haven't done. But I was ended up in the area and said, well, you know what? I'm just gonna swing on through. So, Ricardo D. Rice, I'm in the building.
Look, we came, we prepped, we've hit all the big political headlines, we've hit entertainment headlines, and we have like a good 30 minutes. I think we've been very efficient today.
I got a question.
And I've not said Monday once. Yeah. What's your question?
Yeah, because we know what they
What's your question?
I just got you throw shade already? Okay.
So, how do you feel about this thing with this Mueller thing where everybody trying to get the whole report?
We're back to the same question. What is the point? I do not see them giving y'all the bullet to shoot them with. So what is the point? I don't understand. It's April. They have what? 7, 8 months, 9. I don't know, to finish out this year. Don't y'all? And apparently they subpoenaed the tax returns.
Yeah.
Nancy, I'm disappointed. You said we wasn't doing this. I think, as much as I hate to say this, I believe Auntie Maxine pulled this off because she was determined to get these tax returns. I think Auntie Maxine did this. I'm disappointed, Auntie, because we said we have more important fish to fry, especially since they keep coming back at Obamacare.
But you keep calling her Auntie Maxine and then
Auntie
talk
Maxine.
about frying fish. What you think aunties do?
They're still people still want Congress to sue.
Whatever. Aunts still get the job done. My aunt, there's certain arenas that she's good in. Man, and I expected Auntie Maxine to be, stern, but stern on things that matter. Like,
they want answers from this report. It's a very long report, and technically speaking, they could make it public if they wanted to. If you got to think about the way it looks. If you're being investigated for doing something covert, and there's a result of that investigation, and you really just wanted to prove that you're innocent, as innocent as you say you are, why would you have a private report? It's just, it's more that he knows it looks like that, and that's why he's like, I'm just gonna keep it looking, and he doesn't care. You know what I mean? Like, he knows how that looks. I just think he wants people to be riled up about it. But the House Judiciary Committee did proceed with saying that they're going to try to subpoena to get this thing. Now we're in the appeals court stage. There's a third stage after that, if it can pass this stage.
That's
where basically,
so much.
This is stupid.
Because obstruction is still open. So there was no collusion. But there may have been obstruction.
That's what they keep saying. Like,
yeah.
All this is stupid. If it's that simple.
But there's definitely nothing new.
Release it if it's that simple.
But this gives them something to fester over while Trump goes on and does his own thing. Trump already decided, like, in the span of this week alone, he's like, I'm closing the border. Like, I'm just gonna dissolve it. I'm gonna wipe it away almost like a whiteboard. I'm gonna get rid of the border, and nobody will ever be able to come. Nobody will ever be able to go. And then he took it back. So while they're festering over stuff, he's like making statements and
he's trying to get work done.
He's trying to push his agenda.
That's what's so crazy to me is that people aren't paying attention to that part. He's actually getting work done.
Yeah, today.
I don't like a lot of the work that he's doing.
But the jobs report.
He's getting work done.
So that's another thing we didn't talk. The jobs report is the best it has been since 1969. At the end of the first quarter, which was March 31st, 100,000 new jobs, which puts us at the lowest unemployment numbers we've seen
What is
since.
6%
Yeah, but I
now,
want to
right?
see variables. Like, is that actually solely accredited to
I
him?
mean, you have a job. I think everyone here has a job. So
Well,
maybe
is that
we're
6%?
proof of the
Actually,
pudding.
no.
Joseph, do you have a job?
My 2 week ran out.
You got a
so
job.
I don't have a job.
Well, maybe they'll get to you by the end of April.
And I'm an independent.
I don't want a job.
contractor.
I'm good. I don't
Okay,
want a
but
job.
then you
I
don't
want a
count.
job. I'm good.
You don't count in the statistic. I'm just saying.
But the question, see, that argument is always like, when you say like nationwide, and then you look at the numbers and you're like, hold on, black folk broke. What that mean?
Well, they said we have a job. They didn't say that you were loaded. They said that you got a job.
Yeah, but how much does that job? Your job does not. Your job doesn't do anything.
So do you give it up? Do you not want a job?
Well, this is my thing, and this is, I feel like, why Ricardo always be arguing about this minimum wage thing. It's because you do understand, like, having a job that doesn't pay you anything actually means you don't have a job and
In
you work
essence.
for free.
It doesn't pay you anything.
Yeah, they broke. Like, they broke.
Yeah, if
I
you
wouldn't say
working
it
for
doesn't pay you
750,
anything.
But
725,
but
that's
you
not a
also
good.
have to remember where you live. That we've become accustomed to living above our means.
Yeah.
That's our fault.
Absolutely.
Now, that's why I don't really want to give folks more money. Because you're going to think like, oh, I turned up now, but I can ball out. No, you still broke. Like, $15 mean that you still broke. Like, you're still broke.
And people traditionally increase their lifestyle when they get paid more money. They
Yeah.
get a raise. They tend to
you
get a
gonna
bigger
go from
apartment.
a Fossil watch to a Michael Kors watch. Like you can spend that.
Right.
Yeah, they're having a party over there.
Yeah,
They really
got
are.
to come back.
But okay. So just on this point, really quick though, just
But
because.
wait. Before we move,
What?
here's my thing.
Okay.
Oh, he about to
Saying,
turn up.
I don't know. I'm just saying, saying that people have jobs is the same thing when we look at the graduation rates for colleges. Saying that your graduates have been placed, but they've been placed at McDonald's, Burger King, stuff like that. It's not the same thing. So saying, like you said, people have jobs, but if you're not making any money,
But it kind of burns both ends of the sticks because people need jobs so that people who don't have jobs can live because it's the people who have the jobs that pay the taxes. So those are the people who pay the taxes so you can get the food stamps or they get the housing, Section 8 allowance or whatever else for people who don't have jobs. So it's like you still need people to work.
actually, I would rather see that report. Have the people on governmental assistance gone down since we claim that everybody's working? That's the better
Trump's
question.
trying to make sure that. Remember, he has 750,000 people are about to lose their food stamps. So Trump is getting rid of people with government
But they've
assistance.
been talking about that since Obama. Like,
Yeah, I'm about to
But
say,
he already
how
cut.
is it-
He already made a cut. 500,000 people. That
but
was in
making a
2018.
making a cut and cutting it off is different.
No,
Yeah.
he's reducing who's eligible. So he is getting people off because he's reducing who's eligible to that. Do you know what I'm saying? That's like,
No, he's keeping people from getting on.
right.
He's not.
So you're not on food stamps. So boom.
Yeah,
he,
but-
he has
Yeah,
lowered
no
the number of
new
people on food stamps.
No new people can get on
new
food
people.
stamps.
No.
But the people that's on food stamps still get food
Yeah,
stamps.
they still get food stamps. So
Yeah.
what are
No.
we really achieving?
Why?
He's
You-
getting people off of it. Like
No,
that's what
he's
you just
stopping
said. You
people
said
from
how many
getting on
people
it.
are not on assistance. Well, he's about to take 1.2 million if you combine those numbers off. So he'll have taken 1.2
Are they
million off assistance.
willingly?
No, nobody's willing.
No.
Who willingly does
What
anything?
kind of question?
I'm just
But
saying, like,
I
if
guess
you're
my
making
but
a
I guess my
certain
point
amount of
is,
money-
unless
like-
we see 1.2 million bodies in the street because they starved to death, then technically
But
he has
that's
done his
happening.
job.
That's happening because of that law that they passed last year. Like, it's always been a thing where your eligibility is your combined income. So everybody that's in your house, combined income minus your expenses. Well, when you realize that most of the people that were on food stamps don't actually have expenses, like you can't get food stamps
It's
and
your-
be on.
it's your
You
income.
should not be able to get food stamps and be on Section 8.
But a lot of people
Why?
are. A lot of
Because
people
if
are.
your rent $13 and you work a part-time job, your rent $13.
Yeah, but
Some
your
people
rent's
don't
only
work,
$13 because you're on Section 8.
But some people don't work.
Don't be on Section 8 and on food stamps. You gotta pick one.
No, that's
Pick a
not how that
struggle.
works.
You either need somewhere to live or you hungry.
Or you have
Listen
both
to
because you
this.
have kids. So they gotta have a roof over their head and they have to eat.
Hey, look,
Right.
And you can't do
Your
both.
And for kids, there's enough-
actually,
for
given the
kids-
same situation we were talking about,
Your rent
if I
$13.
make less than 50, really,
I buy. You know how much
Hold on,
I risk
hold on,
my
hold
rent.
on, hold on.
let us not forget that there are other outside variables. This is designed really for like mothers and kids and stuff like that. So outside of your rent and your
Utilities.
food, you probably have a car because you have kids. They got to get around. You got a car, you got car note, you got car insurance, all these other things. The kids are constantly growing. You got to buy clothes,
Healthcare,
there's
childcare.
Healthcare. So now you're saying.
Y'all
So what you're
stressing me
saying
out.
is
That's
you
what I'm
can't.
saying.
No.
So hold on, let him finish and then
Let's
we'll-
paint the picture. So what you're saying is I have to pick a struggle.
Yep.
So that means I can't have Section 8.
Nope.
I can't have food stamps.
Nope.
I can't have There's a third one I was gonna say.
TANF.
I can't have Medicaid. So
Obamacare?
now I have to take care of my children's health care expenses, which are expensive.
I
have
take
to
care of your
care
pit. I take care of that. I pay taxes.
If you pull me off of it, doesn't matter whether you pay taxes. There's no program for me
Well,
to benefit
you
from.
keep Medicaid, you can't have food stamps. You keep Section 8.
So what he's talking
Why
about?
are we picking and choosing? This
Hold
is
on,
not a
hold on,
McDonald's.
I ain't been able
hold on.
to.
Hold on.
I've
He's-
applied
hold
4
on.
times to get food stamps and they won't give them to me.
You don't need
No,
to have
they
food
won't.
stamps. See, this is the problem.
Milk
What do you need food stamps
milk
for?
is $4.
This
I don't
is the
even
problem.
drink milk
What
like
do you
that.
need food stamps for?
Why is milk $4?
It's expensive. It's expensive. But so there's certain people that he's talking about with this. They're called ABLEs. Or that's how their acronym is.
What
and
is it?
These are ABLEs. Trump wants to get rid of able-bodied people
Who came
on
with an acronym?
food stamps. Probably the Trump administration.
Oh, my God.
He wants to get them off of it. So if you are on disability, if you are, if you're pregnant, if you're an able-bodied person over 18,
You shouldn't be able
presumably
to get
under
food stamps.
65, then he's saying you should not be able to get. So
No.
those are the people he's ripped off of.
People like you shouldn't be applying for food stamps. What do you need food stamps for?
Because I feel like everybody can get food stamps. That's
That
what I
used
feel
to
like.
be the case. That
That's real
used to be
classy.
the case.
That's real classy.
It is.
So now your application blocking some poor single mother who
So
has
look,
3 kids.
think about this. Think about this.
Don't admit to doing
Most
that.
women.
Too late.
Most women that apply for food stamps, if you have more than one child, you know how much they food stamps be? Rent. My rent.
Well,
Some
food costs a lot of
Walmart.
You know how
money.
much exactly? You know how much it costs
Just in
to
my
feed
house
kids?
alone, groceries are $400, and we're
And
two
that's
people.
what I'm saying. If I'm spending regular money to buy food, you pay $13 a month and you got a job. Why your car?
Well, what if they
kind of
don't?
job?
What if they don't have a job though? Like,
Yeah,
what if they're not
kind of
working?
job?
Don't stop. Look, it be sounding crazy when people say it. If you said it before too, do not put yourself in a situation where you don't have a job and you need somebody else to take care of you. Like
All right,
that.
but-
Don't do that.
But now we're
Especially
talking
when you
about
got kids.
but now we're
That's
talking
whack.
about preventative stuff. So maybe
Yeah, exactly.
okay.
No,
So
no, I'm
example.
saying-
She has a job. She's a real estate person, and then we have another 2008, and now she's broke. So now she doesn't have a job because there's no house to sell. So that you can lose your job.
That's about to happen again.
Yeah, so you can lose your job no matter what's your job.
But I'm saying that's about to happen again.
What?
It is.
That real estate thing, it's about to be disgusting.
Yeah.
I watched something yesterday. They said that people think that 2008 was bad. They said 30% of America could be homeless. 30%
Right.
of America could be homeless
From
if
what?
this happened again.
Oh.
This next housing crisis. Okay, so while we're still on this kind of a little bit, Target did raise its minimum hourly wage to $13 from $12.
Yeah, but
Which I said this would make
it's a
Ricardo
dollar.
goes.
$1.
I used to work at
Ricardo's
Target.
So happy.
Look,
You
I
think
ain't
people
gonna
don't want
tell y'all what I
$1?
was making when I worked at
I mean,
Target.
we'll take the dollar.
I'm
I was gonna
getting
say
a check.
people want their dollar
I was
raise.
getting a check when I was at Target. But look, this what I'm saying. There are certain things that when you realize that you pay for that you aren't eligible for, when you look at it, you like, hold on now, why I don't get that? Like, why I don't get that?
He's
For
I don't
real.
think like that, but okay.
No, I think like that.
Well, my perception changed because I have a friend who she works for the apartment complex. She's pregnant. She doesn't have insurance. So we had the real conversation of what it's going to cost her to have this baby. And another girl was there while we was having a conversation. She just had a baby, and she was like looking at the cost of what it took to, do because we don't think about these kind of things. Most people have health care, so they don't think about how much this stuff costs out of pocket. I was immediately sad for her. I'm like, and it's two of them. It's her and her baby's father. They're together. She makes good. I think he does too. But the ideology of trying to have a child out of pocket is unfathomable. I was
Oh, yeah. $20K minimum.
I mean, the
Yeah, it's
doctors,
expensive.
the stuff we don't think about, the doctors,
Oh, I
the
think
stuff
about
they
it.
send you with when you're. I was like,
It keeps me up at night. I think about it a lot.
I couldn't-
Epidural cost $1,500.
I couldn't.
That's a shot. One shot.
Right.
$1,500.
And they're probably gonna mess up
fathom
your
it.
spine.
I
Okay,
just
so
couldn't.
here's the thing: the poverty level is so low that to even qualify for this stuff in the first place, if you really are eligible, you're making $557 a month, and you have other mouths to feed other than yourself, and that's 43% of $557 a month. That's like $6,000 a year.
That's
Is
very low.
abysmally low. So,
And,
mean,
but
those are
that's the
and
qualifier?
statistics show.
yes, they
statistics
first they
show
lowered the
that
threshold, then they changed the eligibility. But the first thing they did was lower the threshold.
And that's what I'm saying. Like when
there are
you,
cockroaches making more.
when you
money
think
than
that's
that.
what I'm saying. When you really think about the people that are under that level, a lot of them aren't black.
Well, sure.
We just see the ones that are black, but the people that we know get the check. We know what you're doing.
That's why you got to be able to get money off the books.
We know what you're doing.
I feel like you got to have it one way or the other. Either you got to let me work and make money however I can make money and stay off my back and don't send cops to frisk me. Either you got to let me make money, or you got to provide everything. But you're not going to let me make money. You can't provide everything.
I feel like you secretly said I should sell drugs. And
No,
people
so,
leave me
so
alone.
look, I explain it like this. I know my homegirl. She got 3 kids, right? Got a decent job. She get $850 a month in food stamps. Kids on Medicare. She on Section 8. She make money. My mom got cancer and she get disability. She around $1,400 a month. She doesn't qualify for food stamps.
Oh yeah, not before.
So they give my mom $75 a month for food stamps. She can't work. Physically can't work. Physically can't leave her house without help. She don't qualify for food stamps. But this girl who got a good job and a couple of kids get all that money in food stamps.
I feel like that girl is bold in the Trump administration.
And she works.
It's like he's gunning.
So it's like it's going to become, and that's what these bills are doing. It's forcing people to pick a struggle. Because we've seen, think about the when they cut food stamps a couple years ago in Georgia alone, they was finding that people were using food stamps to buy things other than food.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's been we've dealt with
Well,
that.
look, if I'm in a dire situation and I have $20 in food stamps, I can't buy food with that. I got to buy coffee. I got to find other things to fill my stomach with because I'm not going to make it off $20 if that's my only grocery budget.
I mean, having raised the twins and Felicia had it, I don't know what we would have done if she didn't, because outside of taking care of them, which I was taking care of everything, the rent, I don't know if I have my car yet, but rent, all the other stuff that goes in the house alone, let alone having to deal with the stuff the kids needed. Like, I get it, but having done it, I can't fathom it doing it without some kind of assistance. It's a lot. Like, it's a lot.
And my argument is that how many people that don't have kids still have that struggle and can't qualify for food stamps.
Right. And some places don't even
use
use
them.
them.
Take care of the kids. It's not to take care of adults. That's
Right.
Unless you're
That's
disabled.
true.
If I'm an adult and I got rent, what if I don't got a car?
But no, it goes back to your argument. Then get a better job.
Oh.
That goes back to your argument.
So if I got to get a better job, you need to get a job.
No. We talking about individuals. We're not talking about families. You're talking about individuals. So just like you would, your argument is
I need to
get
a better job, and you need
Hold
to
on,
get a better job.
hold on.
Your argument is, oh, well, why should we get $50
My rent
an
too
hour?
high.
No.
My car note too high.
No.
Hold on.
Okay, well, that's the other side of your argument. Then you need to downsize your life.
Yeah, you do too.
Ooh, hold on.
You need to downsize too.
I'm very happy. I'm very happy with what Ricardo's bringing to the table. This is logical stuff. But I do want to just point out some educational stuff here. So there are also food stamps that people do not claim, and I think this is very cultural too, because I know a lot of people, a lot of poor people, a lot of people in my extended family, my wife's extended family, who just would never be on food stamp. They poor. But they just don't. They don't do that.
Why you gonna say like that?
I'm saying they're poor, but they don't think to. They don't want to apply for food stamps. So, Lawrence County. This is Tennessee, Middle Tennessee. There's over $17 million lost annually because people don't. They say people don't know they're eligible. I think they do, but a lot of people culturally do not want to apply. There's about 60 million. Excuse me. There's $1.5 million that are unused in one particular county alone. And they say that there are lots of residents who do meet all the guidelines and just don't apply. So I also kind of feel like, okay,
it's a
people
pride
not
thing.
using it. So can they cash app that money over to Fulton County? Like, can they move it around to people who are? Because I'm sure there's a wait list in a lot of counties for food stamps. So it's like, okay, they've got $2 million, they're not using it. Why can't we just redistribute the money? Why can't government use a cash app?
I actually have a question.
Because they do that already.
How?
In Georgia, in DeKalb County, Fulton County, not necessarily in Cobb, Gwinnett, but on whatever the South Side, whatever that county is, when you look at the numbers of single women on food stamps versus women that are in relationships, not necessarily married, but there's another adult in the house that get food stamps. When you look at the numbers, they're about the same.
What do you mean?
Like, it's another grown person living in that house. You get the same amount of food stamps as a woman, and it's just her and her children in food stamps.
How is that possible?
Because it's Georgia. It's the same way that you can buy alcohol with food stamps.
You can buy alcohol with food
Come
stamps?
on, bro. You don't watch the news.
You can't buy alcohol with food
Not
stamps.
now.
Not legally.
Not now.
Oh, yeah, back then. Yeah.
Not
For
now,
sure.
since they passed that law last year. That law is very new on the books.
I'm sure that hurt folks.
Now you can't buy hot food with food stamps. You used to could buy hot food with food stamps.
Yeah, I get that.
So they changed that whole thing. People, liquor stores accept EBT. So if you go to a liquor store that also sells snacks and liquor, people were using that food, and it started in Georgia. They started seeing the numbers where people were spending $600,000 a year on alcoholic beverages with food stamps. So like in Kroger, when I first started working at Kroger, I didn't know that people could buy wine with food stamps. You can't do that anymore.
No, I didn't know that.
You can't do that anymore.
Well, that's abuse. Like that's why would
But you also talking about the same people that say that I need food stamps to take care of my kids. These be the same people that go to the liquor.
But I'm
Yeah, but
really
that's not- I'm not
I'm
gonna make that
not
right.
entirely.
Buying snacks with food
It's
stamps
not
versus
always
buying food
comfortable
with food
though
stamps. Who you
to
buying the snacks
judge.
for?
It's not always comfortable to judge how somebody's doing that though. Like I've seen posts where people are buying lobster or something like that, and people are like, "You buying lobster and steak? Well, I'm working hard. I can't afford lobster and steak, and you're on food stamp." But that's how they choose to spend their money. Like it's really, you're offering it, so I feel like once you offer it, you really can't be mad about how people use it. You know, like that's
okay,
what
well,
people are gonna choose
here's
to
my
do.
thing. So it's for me, it's a mindset thing. So like my generation, we viewed food stamps as a necessity, not so much of a added bonus. It was a necessity to get you to a certain quality of life. But I guess my question is for you two, Kyle and Shahid. How did y'all generation view food stamps? Is it? 'Cause I don't really hear like young people talk about food stamps. So how did they view food stamps?
Yeah, what do y'all eat?
Scamming.
Now,
How do
Kyle,
y'all-
we know
how do
you
y'all
rich,
I'm
so
not
you know,
rich.
try to think about the
Nah,
little
they
people.
he
Yeah.
from the generation of scammers, so they gonna get some food.
But I've never scammed though. Like I've never.
We
let
not
me-
talking about you, Kyle.
Okay.
Go ahead.
but I mean, as far as like it's food stamps, I know people need it, but necessarily like Simone was saying, I never want to be on food stamps. Even if I'm like in a situation where I qualify for them, I'm too prideful to even
apply.
apply.
Because you know you got to put that on the application. Like when you fill out an application, they ask you if you ever been on government.
Literally, I was starved before I applied for food stamps.
I've been like that too.
Shahid,
You said what'd you say?
Hey, 'cause I ain't gonna lie.
microphone.
I've been on food stamps before. Truth be told, I really don't care. I mean, it helps.
As long as the food get paid for.
I mean, I didn't know what it was when I was younger because, I mean, first of the months, I mean, mom would always come in with fruit snacks and all these other good stuff. I didn't think about it then, but now I'm like, oh, okay, it's just food stamps. I mean, it just goes how the person uses it, to be honest. I mean, I don't really care much for it. I mean, everybody needs assistance.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, like, say, for example, if you're down, yeah, you can get back to yourself, but I mean, you need a little push sometimes. You need that hand to extend out, but it's just
Right.
how long you're going to rely on that.
But so hold on. So if this fed you for 4 years and you say you don't care, you should support this. You
No,
should,
I mean,
you
like,
should-
I don't care in the sense of, like, how it's being looked at, where it's like, all right, if it did, I mean, if it's looked good, I mean, for me, really, truth be told, it is what it is. But really, I don't care for how it is right now, only because I'm not in that situation. I mean, yeah, it's,
I understand that.
I mean, yeah, it's a bit like, oh, yeah, I know it's like, oh, man, that's a bit sad. Like, oh, you should be in this. You should be more supportive. I should be, but I'm also
but you just
moving
appeal.
on.
But you just a POS.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I don't really care who get food stamps. I'm just mad that I can't.
Is that the basis of your?
No, but
Yeah.
there are facts that you
But-
can argue about.
But that is food
government
stamp fraud,
assistance.
and you can't get in trouble for food stamp fraud. People do get in trouble for food stamp fraud all the time. 88
Like,
people in the last
Food
month.
stamp fraud, claiming unemployment. Like
Yeah.
when you see, and that's why when I look at some of these laws, I appreciate sometimes what Georgia be doing, cause they be knowing. Georgia and Florida, they be knowing when y'all be scamming. They know when y'all scamming. So like they cut the unemployment. Like you can only claim it 3 times, and they shorten it from it used to be 32 months.
Unemployment Georgia is a joke.
It is,
well,
and they extend the window, right? So it's like if you lose your job, if you become eligible, you still have to wait like a couple of months or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it used to
trying
be
to find a job.
it used to be you can claim unemployment for 24 months or not 24 months, 24 weeks, and then reapply. Now you can only do that 3 times, and it's only 18 weeks.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So it's 18 weeks you can claim unemployment,
And there's
and
lots
you
of
can
drug
do it.
tests.
You can do it 2 more times. If you don't find a job between the 3 times, they'll never give it to you again.
Right.
I'm super happy about that because I know mad people.
Wait, what?
Well, fortunately, you
Yo,
can be in
I
this
know
economy
mad
because
people.
Trump is creating jobs.
I know mad people that look, when you grow up in the hood, you realize that a lot of women, and I don't want to say it like that,
I feel
but
like you're
a
getting ready to make a
lot of
generalization.
women, especially where I grew up at, a lot of women with jugging the system.
But real
They
quick,
took real
white
advantage
people
of the system.
use this way more.
Oh no, they be scamming.
way more.
They be scamming.
In
And I
Maryland,
grew up
Maryland,
around
Rhode Island, and
white people.
Idaho were the states with the 3 biggest cases of food stamp fraud this year in 2019 so far. Those are white states.
Yeah.
Sorry, they are. So Idaho woman accused of $35,000 in food stamps. The woman who was in Rhode Island, she was a government worker, and she had been committing food stamp fraud and Medicaid fraud. So these aren't black people. These
And that's what I'm
not
saying. It's not
exclusively
black
or not
people-
a
it's not
majority
black
of
people
it.
Problems.
Right.
It's not black people problems, but in certain places, it's an issue.
Yeah.
It's an issue.
And
just
it's going to be
glad
a
that-
problem in Puerto Rico
Yeah.
because they're desperate. They need food stamps. This cut, I'm saying, this is within the Trump administration. This would trickle down. It's just,
I just don't want us to get to a point where we're throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
yeah.
I get it. There are people that abuse the system. I absolutely get it. Then we need to come down on the gatekeepers. You have to do check-ins and stuff like that, visits, all that stuff. So what are the gatekeepers doing? Because they shouldn't be able to abuse this. At some point, you got to get sloppy.
But I also believe you
But
got to
the-
move fast.
Yeah,
Like, I
and
also
they-
believe
and
you
they do
can't
that
wait.
now. They do that now.
What?
They strict now, but it's just people know how to beat the system.
Well, then we need to
Sympathy-
hire some of them people. We need to hire Bonquisha and them who know how to jug the system
but
to teach us
sympathy
how to
is-
get them.
Sympathy is one of those things that a lot of people have when it comes to this.
Well, you have to because it's not
Because
about
it's
the parents, it's about
food.
the kids.
It's food.
And
It's
and
not like,
I get it.
luxuries.
I
It's
get
food.
it. I get it, but it's also one of those things like I don't feel bad for you if you scamming the system because it's people that
Well, of
really
course,
need it.
of course.
I mean,
And those people
that's
get in
not
big
the people
trouble.
That the compassion goes out to. It's not them. It's
But,
the people
but then
who
when you
legitimately need it.
look, my homeboy, his mom used to work for the IRS and she was on Section 8. How you do that? How do you do that? How you work for the IRS and be on Section 8?
The same way
don't
that
know.
you work for Amazon and be on Section 8.
Amazon's the
That's-
IRS.
That's a great point.
Look,
a great point.
look.
And stop talking about Amazon.
Seriously,
You look-
seriously.
I'm on the other side today, so I can say what I want to say. Y'all love to say it all the time. The same way I can work for Amazon and be on Section 8 and be on food stamps, which was Bernie Sanders, the Burnsters' point.
Oh, wow.
No, don't bring that back.
I'm just saying that was the Burnsters' point.
Burnster died 2
You
weeks ago.
companies, have all this money and blah, 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 but your employees are using so much governmental assistance. Why is that? Same question you just asked.
But it's the same way that if you work for the government and you get free government assistance.
They really do.
Why? How?
Anybody works for
Government of if you work in any capacity for the government, you get assistance. And I don't understand that.
I do. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes into working for the government, especially depending on where you work at, what division you work in.
Nope. If you first of all, look, let me tell you something. If you make more than $80,000 a year, you don't get no assistance. Because what you need assistance for?
Well, I don't think that's for them.
They get assistance.
I'm sure they don't use it. It's probably they
Government
need it.
officials get if you get a food budget.
Okay, we're not doing that. That is not assistance.
It's a food
That's
budget.
a perk. That's not an assistant. That's a perk.
They don't pay for food.
I just don't believe they should
That's
have
a perk.
perks. That's all. I just don't think they should have perks.
That's not a. We're going
No
to make
perks.
distinctions about words.
So-
when you
so
say
perks.
assistance,
That's
that
assistance.
means aid to help you. When you say a perk,
They
it's
have
an
an
added
aid
bonus.
that actually carries the card to pay for your food.
Did you really just go there?
They do.
Did you really just go there?
They do. They
Did
have
you
aids.
really just go there?
They do have
Ricardo,
aids.
can we pause really quick? I want to ask you, what do you think about Bernie Sanders, who is sounding increasingly arrogant, saying he won't take any donations over 27 cents?
I mean, it's his campaign. However he want to do it.
Nah, that's your man's.
That's crazy.
That's your man's.
But do you think this is a good strategy, like a good grassroots strategy?
What's the logic? Like, why? Do
Well,
you say
he
that?
doesn't want. There's a lot of big money behind politics, is what Democrats are trying to fight against. They're trying to say like a couple of millionaires spend all this money and they get people elected, and then like the common people who can't donate, but maybe $1 or $2. So he's basically saying he's capping donations, meaning there will be no big gift behind my.
I think that's actually noble. What's the problem?
Nope. He got to raise $1 billion to be president.
He must have a plan.
He ain't no plan.
You don't know.
You see what's
Nobody
happening.
thought he was going to run again, yet he is at the
We knew- we-
forefront.
And
we
nobody's
knew it.
accused him of touching anybody.
Oh.
We really gonna go there?
No, we talked about Joe Biden earlier. I'm just saying.
Don't
Well,
hate on
clearly
Joe.
they
77.
calculate this and wait for people to get in their old age so they can take them down. So they maybe wait till Bernie get in office, then all of a sudden 50 of them come marching from behind the curtain and say he touched me when he was on the campaign trail.
Somebody gonna come out. I think somebody gonna come out and be like, Bernie breast stink. And then we just gonna run with it.
It's gonna be crazy. I think if he won, imagine like Simone Sanders in the White House.
Somebody go, what?
Simone Sanders. I mean, 'cause she was his press secretary. I would imagine anybody who gets into office, when you work for them, usually they bring you with them, unless.
I find it very disturbing that we live in a culture that you never know when to believe somebody. And because I was watching The View, And they talked about this, and everybody was like, we know him, blah, 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 blah. So they're put into place. Well, women are put into place. Now it's like, you don't want to disbelieve other women, but it's just like, the first question is, why now?
It's that different people have different levels of comfort is what it is. Like, I don't think they're saying they don't believe her. I think they're saying, look, you sensitive. Like, I think that's what they're saying. Like,
because we've watched him do this over the last 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are recorded videos and photos of him literally, somebody posted it on Instagram, him over the last, they said the last decade, like where the bald spot wasn't as bald, it was just a little bald.
Make your point.
They showed pictures of him doing the same thing to people, like not just women. Like it was a dude in the first picture, it was an older woman.
What was he doing?
And then
like he does the shoulder rub.
He does the shoulder, like, but he made sure his arms is like this. They not like this, like T-Rex arms. And it's just like, people gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop. Because at the end of the day, when you work with somebody that's like that in public and they do something to you like that in public, you can reprimand them and correct them in public. Don't wait all the way until he about to really do something and be like, no, I remember in 2003.
Yeah, he's a little handsy with me.
Stop. He rubbed my back a little uncomfortable on a hug.
Right, he was a slow hug. He wasn't trying to let go.
You hugged him back.
All right, well, let me throw this out there because I know we rapping. Let me throw this out there. This is where I personally feel that certain things that we don't talk and we don't nurture are starting to show their heads. So for people who, are used to being behind a computer screen, or people who are used to being in an office alone and things like that, and then you get moved into an arena where you're around people who are people's people. You're not accustomed to it. So everything that anybody does to you that's above or in your personal space is going to set you off. I feel like that's the part of the culture we live in now, because we don't know how to sit down and have a face-to-face conversation. We don't know how to take a handshake and have a strong grip. We don't know how to do these things. So anything that's above your threshold of comfort, which is going to be pretty much everything, if you encounter somebody who's a people's person, a genuine people's person, is going to set you off. And I feel that's what we're constantly starting to see now. You spend so much time on your phone, behind your computer, you don't know how to interact with people. And you meet people's people, especially the older generations. That's how we, close business deals. That's how we greet each other. You're not accustomed to that. So everything is going to set you off.
And these people are soft. Don't nobody want to touch them. Their breath smell funny. Like, they weird people. Like, I'm only 30, but I've noticed a lot of people that's between 40 and y'all age, they weird. They don't know how to act in groups. You don't really know how to talk to
the
people.
younger generation?
I don't even think 40. I don't even think 40. I think it's early 20s and teens.
Yeah, I don't think I'm almost 40.
I've met some people that I've met some people that they don't know how to. Don't forget, if you 37, 38.
I'm 39.
So you 39. So for the last 17 years, you've had social media where we had MySpace, Facebook, Black Planet. We've literally grown into see, y'all don't even know what
and people
I'm looking at their face. They don't even know what is that look.
No, when you said Black Planet, I was like, wait, what are you
Black
talking about?
Planet?
That's what I'm saying.
All of this, we had Black Planet.
Before Instagram and Twitter, it was Black Planet and MySpace.
Yep.
Okay,
but people are turning
MySpace,
against social media
Planet.
now because of this.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, we've grown.
Americans
y'all grown
increasingly
up.
dislike social media.
Y'all grown up with social media. We grew into social media. We was already old enough to talk to each other.
Yeah.
And we weren't trolling.
And did.
And we talked to each other.
Thank you.
So
We weren't
now
trolling.
you have people that were social people turning into phone people.
Right.
And now when they take their head out of the phone, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to react when they see somebody hug in public or when somebody try to hug them, because they so used to watching somebody hug like this that when it actually happened to them, they're like, hold on, I don't know how to feel. Get out your phone. You too old for that. These women is way too old to be like, yo, he hugged me for 7 seconds. Like, I be reading these statements, I'm like, who is the person counting the seconds in these videos?
Right.
But this is what happens, and I try to warn people, when we start removing things that don't seem necessary, this is what happens. People started feeling like, oh, well, it doesn't matter if we teach you, have an elegance class, and you learn the difference between the forks and the knives you use when you sit down at a formal function.
Well, that doesn't
We
matter.
didn't need that. It does. I didn't think it did either. They made us take the class, and I thank God, because I was at some dinner, and they passed out all these forks, and half the kids sitting there, I was like, I don't understand what these forks. I was, oh, this is a shrimp fork. It made a difference, but we didn't deem it necessary, so we got rid of it. All these little things that we just think we didn't need. Now we're seeing the results of it.
Let me ask you one thing really quick though, because this always happens when I talk to someone who's either worked at Fox News or is conservative or Republican or maybe just unique like yourself. Is that they always unique? Is that they always lump things in together that it's like, man, you lost me. Like you always got to lump some in with it.
We have extensive
extra
knowledge, so the things that y'all
but
don't
they're
see,
not
we
all
do.
related. Like they're different things.
Are you talking about elegance class thing?
Yeah, elegance
It does
class
make a
versus
difference.
like general people skills versus and I'm like sensitivity training versus like.
We didn't have that. We just got.
I mean, those are just different skills. You know, like you can still chew. Whether you can figure out the fork or not. Like, so let's just, I don't think everything
No,
should
and
be
we have
compared.
aspirations to get to certain things. You pretend to have these things. When you have aspirations to get to a certain level,
Yeah,
there
but
are
I don't
certain
believe
skill
that's
sets
gonna
that
make
you
the
should
difference.
need.
I don't believe
I'm
that's
just waiting
gonna
on
make a
somebody to
difference.
come out and accuse a woman of making them uncomfortable.
The teachers. These teachers that are being accused, and half these teachers are female
Double
teachers.
But they're teachers. I'm
Yeah.
talking about like.
Well, that's the
law
only area
officials,
where
like-
women may-
Like Kamala Harris hugged me for 39 seconds and whispered in my. Like,
That may happen too.
Shut up.
Beyonce was accused of touching somebody, making them uncomfortable.
Did it make
Her
headlines?
ex-dancer, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
did y'all even talk about that? Omari Hodgick and
Yeah, we did.
Ah.
That it's weird.
What did you
Like,
think? Just tell us what you think, real quick.
I watched the video. I'm just like, I don't understand what he was doing. Like, I don't.
Then he kissed her on her side mouth.
But I explained it because when you really watch the video, so he comes in, he daps up Jay-Z, give him a hug, they whisper something in each other's ear. He see Beyonce, he goes over, kiss her. Back, it looked like he meant to kiss her twice because after he did, he turned around and seen somebody else and walked away.
Mm-hmm.
Now I said it ain't nobody more important than Beyonce in that room, so you should have stood right there. But it didn't look that way. So the optics is he might have seen Viola over there. Oh,
Romero.
because Viola won something that night. I gotta go holler at Viola.
Yeah, but the point is, why was he trying to kiss her twice? That's
Somebody's
That's the
wife.
thing. That
That's the
second
question.
one. That second.
and that's what I'm
second
saying.
one.
In certain, and we talked about that earlier. Like certain cultures, just like one of
Nah,
those.
never seen it.
No, you
Unless
can't.
it's left and
one
right.
side.
That-
But
they're
he
making
didn't
the
do
point.
that. It was
That's
two
not
on the
what he
right.
did.
And he
did
probably thought
side
she was
mouth.
about to turn her head.
It was the side mouth.
But that's why I told you she turned around like she was about to say something and got caught off guard.
Yeah, but that happens in
Look,
the same.
And it
moment.
ain't like he
Hold
licked
on.
his lips before he licked.
Hold on. We don't know what he did. Hold on.
Joint.
Hold on. Look, we can dissect this video. I think we all have very dissecting
Look,
opinions about the
we
video.
going into this video like it's us or something.
Right, but look, that's not my wife, and we got to wrap. It's
I'm just
2
saying.
o'clock. We got to wrap, and it's Friday, so we can't even do final thoughts. But I'm gonna just say, safe advice to everybody this weekend: don't hug, fist bump. Go out with the bump. Don't hug nobody. Don't hug nobody slow. Take a camera with you, and or bring an NDA.
Yeah. Yep.
We'll be back on Monday. Ricardo will host on Monday. Everybody enjoy your weekend. Be good to each other. Same time, same place at 12 with Leadership Blend. It'll be with Ricardo D. Rice.
IBNX Radio.